All right, we are finally live. We were supposed to go live at 11:30, but for anyone who does live streams like this, at the last minute, shit always goes wrong. So now here we are at 12:07, and we're finally live.
It's a good time to start.
Right. I mean, that's
I can't think of a better time.
37 minutes late. That's not that bad for us.
Honestly, that's pretty good for us.
Considering we wanted to actually do the show last Saturday,
All I gotta say is we're closer to a round hole number.
We're a week late.
Yeah, a week late. We'll just put it there. We'll put it there. But now we're finally live. This is going to be a kind of a rambling show. We're going to talk about really whatever we want to. We have a list of topics that we'll be going through, but I'm sure...
What's the name of the program, Josh?
Well, that's a good question. Right now, we're going with high opinions.
That's awesome.
It means a couple of different things. Bryce only has one type of that available to him right now. When you get out to LA, you could join us for the other one.
What do you mean?
What?
What's the other type? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
No, I got that part. What other type are you
of high? Like lofty.
Yeah.
Like I believe my opinions are better than everyone else's.
High and mighty.
Oh, you mean like the title of the show?
Yes.
Okay.
The title of our show is High Opinions, which I should probably make sure that's what it actually says on Twitch. Because I did not bother to look at that before we got started here. Let's see what it says we're doing. While I'm doing that, I'm Josh. I'm here with Bryce and Shea. Shea sometimes writes for us, but usually he's behind the camera running these shows and making his lights turn off by accident.
Yeah, wait a minute.
What?
Are your lights off in your room right now?
They're on.
Like you're like completely dark.
You just got really dark.
No, they're on.
That's so weird.
No, they're not.
Yeah, no, you're either your camera got dark or your lights went off. One of the two things happened.
Oh, the browser on my computer screen.
So you're using. Didn't we talk about this last night? We were talking about how his camera needed a lot of light, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we've got lights over in the other room." It does not look like you got any of those lights from the other room, Shea.
No, I could do this. It's okay. I got another option. But anyways.
Anyway,
doing today?
Yeah. So, tired? Oh yeah, we're not. This is definitely not the right stuff in our title. Let's go. Let's fix that. We are called High Opinions.
What is it? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is the series premiere.
Series premiere.
Series premiere.
Fools. I guess.
And we're going to be what are we going to be talking about?
Lots of stuff. Video games, current events, mostly in entertainment, wrestling, things that annoy us in either pop culture or just in everyday life.
I mean, there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Every day is an annoyance.
So we have an itinerary. I give it about maybe 5 minutes, and then we'll probably go off the rail. So just stick along for the ride. It's going to be like a roller coaster of a news program.
One of the first things we do want to talk about is video games.
Yeah, that is one of the first things we're going to be talking about. Kimmy, who is also a writer for our website, she covers a lot of video game content. You've seen her streaming here on Twitch before, I hope. And she is coming on to talk about Stream Next Fest and just some other random video game news, whatever's going on. I don't remember if she told me that she was playing Palworld or not. I don't think she was. Shea and I have been playing that. I've been playing it a lot more than Shea recently, though.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So we definitely want to talk about that a little bit too. But before we get into the video game stuff, what's actually new with you guys? What are you doing in your daily lives at this point that you feel like talking about?
This.
That's that.
At least me.
That's really
Bryce, I'm just finding out, has like 3,000 jobs that he
I've
does.
been working on a TV show, called The Film Reel. Airs Friday nights at 6 on News Channel 15.
Can people watch it online?
It's basic. Yeah. If you download the Cablecast app on your phone or smart TV, you can watch the whole News Channel 15 network on there. It's basically this show, but if it was like organized and professional.
Now, are you on it or are you behind it?
Yeah, I host, I produced.
Wait. Okay.
I created the show. Yeah.
These are all amazing revelations that I am just discovering. I need to. What is this? Communicast?
Film Reel.
Film Reel.
Yeah, Cablecast is the app. Yeah.
Cablecast. Okay, everyone's going to have to download the Cablecast. Is about to get slammed with million people downloading this app right now.
Right. So this is weird things bug me. And sometimes not so weird things. But one of the things that's bugged me right now is Shea's fucking lights. So I'm gonna disappear from here for a second.
Your stuff,
you guys,
dude.
you guys talk just about whatever the fuck you want to talk about for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna get Shea a light. I'll be right back.
What did I tell y'all? See, 5 minutes in, we didn't even get to the video game stuff. No, hold on. No, wait a minute. Shea, you're supposed to be. Oh my god. Well, looks like it's just me already. I think I could have predicted this, but how's everybody doing? I'm doing horrible. Everybody's abandoned me already. 5 minutes in. God, what an absolute nightmare. Jesus Christ. Shea, can you even hear me anymore?
I can hear you.
Good Lord. Okay, well then you're supposed to be talking to me, dude. You're supposed to be doing a show right now.
I had an intruder.
What, is your door locked?
Hmm?
Door locked or like what?
I like. It looks okay to me.
Well, now it looks okay because your fucking lights on.
The light was on.
Dude, you said your lights were on. Okay, but clearly they were not on.
They were.
Because they're on now.
Woo! All right. So let's.
Here's a little sneak peek into the shenanigan shit that you've gotten yourselves into. Welcome to High Opinions. Everybody.
Next week we'll be sitting in a hot tub. I don't know. Is that still a thing?
Really?
What? Hot tub streams? Do people still do that?
Yes, of course they're. Oh, hot tub streams. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I thought you meant
like people getting into hot tubs in general.
Yeah, right.
No one does that anymore.
Seems like it's phased out.
I actually literally was just picturing a stream of hot tubs just streaming down,
like a flume.
Yeah.
I don't. What the hell's a flume?
A water roller coaster.
No, that's just called a water coaster. That's
it's a flume. It's
no.
Usually
that's.
I'm from Northeast Pennsylvania. I know what this
ride.
Shit is. A flume.
Well, in Indiana, it's called a water ride. It's
but there's multiple types of water rides.
Like, what do you? Okay.
All
we should be talking about like fucking video games or whatever.
Yeah. So let me get Kimmy in here, and we can start talking about video games. While I'm getting her set up in here, what games are you guys actually playing right now?
Fortnite.
Palworld. Wait, what'd you say?
Fortnite.
Oh, the same game, right?
Shut up, dude. Fortnite's like way better.
They're two totally different games, so you can't really compare apples to oranges on that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just like completely like not the same game, like at all.
And they're not even the same as Pokemon. Although some people might argue about that.
Well, I mean, like the design and the characters are similar, but I think the overall like gameplay looks like completely. I haven't played it because I don't have a system that can play it, but like the gameplay seems completely different from Palworld and Pokemon. Nice.
Yeah.
Conversation over.
Wow, you guys are great at vamping.
Something.
That's great. I'm pulling Kimmy into the stream.
You have plenty of opportunity to join in the conversation.
I have a lot to say. Well, not a lot to say,
like,
but enough to say.
The show and get people in. So I didn't know I was supposed to be carrying this whole operation here.
Didn't you?
I mean,
oh my gosh.
A bunch of comedians and characters in this room.
No, not very good ones.
And this is still right now like a Seinfeld conversation where I don't. At least this segment of the show.
Okay.
Retro Bill OG is in the chat.
Now we're all set. Kimmy, are you able to hear us? Okay, great. Transitioning over now, and now Kimmy is on the screen. Great. Yay. Everything's working. Man, be glad you weren't here at the beginning at 11:30 because it was a nightmare. Just you've run this stuff before, so you know, like last minute everything goes wrong, and you're just like, so that's where we were at.
Wait.
Hey Josh, I'm looking at your stream right now, and Bryce's name tag is way too big.
Oh my
God! It's as big as Bryce's box.
Why are these things happening?
OBS decided I want to just.
You're wanting me to carry this entire program and they can't even see my damn face.
I mean, you know.
See, this kind of stuff does not happen on the television program, The Film Reel, which airs Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on News Channel 15. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah?
Who watches shows on Central Standard Time?
The people who live in the Midwest.
Don't they still go by Pacific? When it comes to television, don't they just go Eastern and Pacific?
No, because the television, the station that the show airs on is located Standard Time.
You can see the vein in Bryce's forehead get bigger.
Okay.
Bryce.
We can see his face now.
No, Josh, he's not good.
Bryce, you look about proper size now. There you go.
Oh shit! Larry is in the chat. Larry was also supposed to be joining us for the show, but his work schedule is kind of, sometimes everyone's gets like that. Like Bryce having to work is the reason that we didn't start last week. Bryce.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was on ESPN.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. ESPN. I was on Guys Grocery Games. for like half a second.
I was on my couch.
Do you have a couch?
I think we
have a couch,
one, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so let's actually get into some of this video game stuff. Kimmy, you have been covering games for us for a while. I asked the two of them before you came on what they're playing right now. What are you playing right now? What's your current go-to game?
Current go-to game is probably going to either be Baldur's Gate, Sandrock. My Time at Sandrock is the full name, and Fortnite. Those are probably the top. Oh, and Palia. Those are the top four.
Well, what's Sandrock? I've never heard of that.
My Time at Sandrock is part of a series. So the first one was My Time at Portia. It's more of a buildy, cozy game. So unlike
Gotcha.
Stardew Valley, which was more farming, exploring. This is more like you're a builder that comes to a new town. It has the dating attributes that most cozy games have, but it was their recent launch that came out, I think, probably November or October at the end of last year.
Is it like a similar like style to Stardew Valley? Or
yes,
gotcha.
Graphics are different. It's not pixelated. I guess like I would say 3D is probably the
But is it like cutesy, kind of like
yeah,
TV?
you have like your different people in the town you meet. Now it is interesting because again, My Time at Portia was the first one, and so these kind of games are separate, but they build into one giant map. So My Time at Portia was more forest, whereas My Time at Sandrock is more western. And the idea is that this is way in the future where technology has crashed. So like people are afraid of technology. So you do have a lot of battle between like the random discussion of technology versus the church. But the story writing is really where this game shines because the mechanics are the same. You mine, you build, you resource, you meet, date, whatever. But for me, it's the story writing is just, top notch.
Yeah. That sounds pretty fun, not gonna lie.
But I know you guys brought up Palworld. I'm not playing it, but I do understand why it's popular. So I want to know what you guys think of it first as people who are actually playing it.
I mean, it's really hard to actually really pinpoint which one, because all the different aspects all put together that they include, such as the resource gathering, the pseudo type of like RTS aspect to it as well too, with building your base and then having the different pals with different gathering abilities, mining abilities and stuff, and finding the ones that are good for gathering and doing different things and building and stuff. And then it goes into that open world part of like World of Warcraft and everything, everything like MMORPG. So you have a lot of end game content, or at least the beginnings of pseudo end game stuff right now, which they're going to be adding more later. But and then you got your FPS aspect, or at least your third person.
You can kind of see it a little bit in the background behind me on my TV. I have it loaded up because
are you actually playing?
No, well, playing it is a strong word. Because of how the game currently runs, and it's not like a live server. In order for your pals to collect resources, you have to be in the game.
Got it.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, so
it just exists.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks. So
that's just right now.
I just have it on in the background because one of the materials that you need a lot of at the stage in the game where we are is ore, so that you can make bullets and you can make metal whatever. Even the spheres that you use to catch the pals require it. And when you repair your equipment, that all needs it. So we're just constantly running out. So when I'm not doing anything, I just leave it on in the background, just so this shit's getting collected. Because otherwise we're gonna.
I mean, for the most part, like it is a full-fledged RPG, other than not having a story. It's you go they'll have random merchants that are around, random NPC environment NPC.
There's dungeons with dungeon bosses where you can also mine and gather resources inside the dungeon. That you beat the boss and you get sometimes you can get like blueprints that you can use to make better equipment, because the stuff that you learn how to make throughout your technology tree is only common, whereas the stuff that you pick up has more of a chance to be uncommon, rare, epic, or whatever.
Legendary and stuff.
But in addition to the dungeon bosses, there are also like game bosses who are in like palaces that are around the map, and those are a little bit higher level. Like last night I found a new one, and it doesn't tell you what level they are, so you actually have to go in and try and fight them to figure out what it is. At least right now, I'm sure eventually it'll have it on the screen and tell you what level the thing is, or it's there and I just don't know where it's at. But I got in there and I think I died in like 20 seconds.
Nice.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Yeah,
it was a quick experience.
It was pretty fast.
It was like, oh, cool. Aww.
Nice.
It is interesting. I think one of the reasons this game has picked up, well, two reasons. One, it's free on Xbox Game Pass. So if you are a Game Pass holder, you have free access to the game. And then also, because I feel like in gaming, Stardew Valley got really popular because it was kind of the first time of that open world explore, kind of have fun, cozy feel. But in the last maybe 5 years, especially with expansions like, oh gosh, what is that Switch game that came out that everyone was crazy about?
Oh, Animal Crossing.
I'm not gonna. Thank you.
So,
with Animal Crossing,
I almost bought a Switch exclusively because of Animal Crossing. I mean, I got my PlayStation 5.
I think I played like over 100 hours in that
I ended up not getting a Switch, so I never played it. Just because every time I went to buy one, they weren't available. And then by the time
but that was COVID.
Yeah, and then by the time I found one in stock, the OLED model had been announced, and I was like, well, why am I going to buy this one if the OLED model is coming out? Then I couldn't find the OLED model, and now they're talking about the Switch 2. So I'm like, what, you know?
Yeah. But it's interesting because, like, I think we are seeing a lot of these cozy games that have this open world exploration. Palea is another good one. Now, you don't have animals like in Palworld that you do that feeds into, like, the Pokemon, Digimon group, which I also think is another reason why it's so powerful. But from what I'm seeing from streams is you're able to, you know, go chop down trees, build your base, gather resources. And I think that creating these situations where this is now in an open world, right? Because this is multiple players online and they're going to have updates coming on to expand it, I think is what I'm hearing. It's interesting to see more games start to take this route. And with the success that we have with Palea, which is the same dynamics, but slightly more on the cozy side, whereas I think this is more on the
adventure.
There's a little bit more strategy to it, to your gameplay in this situation. It's a good meld of both worlds, so you can have people cross over and make what they want out of it. If you want more strategy, you can. If you want just cute animals, you can. You know, and I think that's really what we need to see in gaming is a lot more of these crossings, because it's clearly people are hungry for them.
And it's the options, having the options and the extra variety that these types of games of having that are really drawing.
I'm curious about how long the hype for Palworld is going to last, because like when
I feel like it's already kind of
a little bit.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't really see people talk about it.
It's I think the same thing with Lego Fortnite. Like when Lego Fortnite came out, we were playing that all the time. And now I haven't even logged into Fortnite in like 2 weeks. I haven't gotten into Lego Fortnite in I think maybe a month.
But TMNT.
Yeah, well, I saw that, and now.
Yeah, it only costs like $50 to get
it.
everything.
I've got but Shredder comes with the battle pass though. I have the
No, he has his own battle pass.
Well, shit.
They have like the bonus battle passes now.
You have the free battle pass with it, and it's an extra 1,000 V-Bucks to unlock the bonus part.
That's the one that comes with the crew pass, though, right?
It does not come with.
No, this is on top of that.
This is more nickeling and diming.
It's a special event. It's a special like 3-week
but at the same time,
I bought it.
They did it with Star Wars. They did it with Darth Maul.
Yep.
I think I got Darth Maul though, but I didn't buy that
thing. They have like a little asterisk because this is like a special battle pass. They're like, by the way, this will probably be in the item shop later on. So it's not like the stuff. The special event battle passes are not exclusive. Which, by the way, I mean this could be a whole nother discussion. But IP battle pass skins should not be exclusive to the battle pass. That's stupid. There's no reason why somebody like Darth Vader you can't buy later on. That is crazy. Just because he was in a battle pass.
That is a separate discussion. More so on battle passes, especially with Fortnite, because.
Adding to this segment as we it's interesting because I feel like we are seeing more games move away from DLCs in general. So like Sims, what was it last year, announced that they were going free with some of their beginner games. And they went more into the Fortnite side of like smaller packages you could purchase. Disney Dreamlight Valley was a free game that promised to be free all the way around, and then they went into DLCs, which upset people a lot, creating that extra kind of nickel and dime, which leads me to a new game that I am super excited for. I've been watching the development of this called Paralyze. This is an indie developer. He was in the life simulation games back in the day when Sims was the only one dominating. And he has been working on this game. It is going to, what a lot of people in the industry are saying, is going to kill Sims. This is the game that people have been waiting for years to come out. It launched its early access for 2025. And they promise no DLCs ever. Everything that they add to the game, yeah, that's a good point. But everything they add to the game is going to just be free expansions. And this is all done by people, like they had a Discord years ago that they started that has allowed a lot of like people who love those type of genres to give a lot of feedback. So I think this game itself is coming out just swinging. It's coming out hard. It has everything people like. The art style is very cozy and
yeah, I'm watching the trailer for it right now, and it looks like it looks really interesting. Like the coloration, like the cell shading aspect of it, I like.
Yeah.
That is really
one of the
cool.
things they wanted to do that they had talked about was they wanted to create something that had lower graphics than what The Sims has, so they could add more content. So if you're a Sims player, you have come to really understand the whole, like, you'll get like a Sims Pet DLC, but then the next DLC might be Sims Pet Furniture, and then the next DLC after that is going to be Sims Additional Pets. Now you can have a hamster. So,
yeah.
What? Now you can have a hamster. Just the hamster's a new thing.
I know you probably don't know the
answer unlock to the hamster.
But like, if you were to like, well, Sims is free to play, but like, if you were to download the Sims and download all the expansions, like, how much money do you think that would cost?
Oh, you're in the hundreds.
Well, I might be able to find that out for you.
That you have to break it up because I've played. So you would have to do it by where you started. Did you start with Sims 1? And then did you get all of the expansion packs for Sims 1, all the expansion packs for Sims 2, all the expansion packs for Sims 3 and Sims 4, which some of them are the exact same, just slightly different, like the themes.
Right.
Then you also have, so those range around like $40.
Those
and
are probably like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like with all of them.
100%. You have your $40.
What's the current version of the game called?
Sims 4.
Sims 4.
Yeah. So the base pack when it first came out, I think was around $60, which was your usual. Your bigger DLCs are around your $40, $35. And then your smaller DLCs
for the bigger ones.
Your bigger DLCs are going to be more like a new base. So, for example, when you first got Sims 4, that was just a few maps and whatever, and then the big DLC after that was adding city living.
Okay.
And then like university.
Are you ready for this?
Oh my god.
Yeah. What is it?
Okay, so I'm using Microsoft Copilot for this, which is their new AI thing. But it's supposed to be better than whatever, so we'll see. If it's accurate, what it's telling me is if you're aiming to own all the expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs for The Sims 4, you've got 13 expansion packs available, each at $39.99. Total cost for all of those is $519.87.
Whoa!
Yeah.
The game packs, there are 8. Each of those are priced at $19.99, so the total cost would be $159.92. The stuff packs, there are 17,
they're like 5.
each at $9.99. Total cost for all of those is $169.83. So when you add it all together, all 34 packs would cost you $849.62.
And that's only if you started in Sims 4.
That's insane. I mean, however, to be fair, how much do you think you've spent on Fortnite skins?
That's true. That's true.
Whatever the battle pass cost was.
But see, this is the one thing I like about the battle pass on Fortnite is if you play it if you really play hard, you can make up the money to play your next battle pass. So you're not really out of money if you're timing it correctly. Disney Dreamlight Valley that follows the same thing, you're never going to make your pass back.
Halo just changed to that too. So Halo, when the battle passes first started, they were at 1,000 whatever the current in-game currency it is, and throughout the course of the battle pass, you could make back 1,000 of the currency so that you could buy the next battle pass. Now they're moving away from that season battle pass thing, and they're doing these Shea, what are they called now? Operations and contingencies. I think operations and
Something
contingencies,
like that,
which are 500 of the in-game currency each, but you don't get any in-game currency over the course of the thing. So you just have to keep buying stuff now.
Oh boy.
See, this is
So Kimmy.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you have all of the Sims expansions?
-1. Look, Sims is a game that I have a bad codependency on. It was the first PC game I ever played, and back in Sims 1, I did Sims
same.
Online. Like that's a game that like sucked because it was on AOL. They've never revamped it for which makes no sense to me. You made this great open world for dial-up, but you've never gone back to this. But the only one I don't have is the horses one. Oh, and actually two now, because there was one that just dropped 2 months ago where you could be a landlord, because that's so exciting.
So you're not a big horse gal?
We're really scraping
what if,
the bottom of the barrel of what we can do here.
What if instead of games where you're pretending to be a landlord, you're just pretending to be a shitty tenant to piss off the landlord?
I mean...
You know what? I would buy...
Right?
I was going to say... One of the things that people love about Sims is the ability to kill people. Like, if you've ever gotten into, Sim Talk and see what people are doing, people are making basements to trap people in rooms without doors. Back in the day before Sims 4 got smarter than us, you would throw them in the pool and remove the stairs,
I remember
and
seeing
they would
videos
just swim
about
to
that,
their death.
Dude, I did that in Sims 3. I was probably 9 years old. I was trapping people in the pool, removing the ladder.
So wait. So in going back to Palworld, Palworld, the pals do that to themselves. They will get them.
Really?
They will get them. To be fair, the game is early access, so all these bugs and everything that are happening to it will eventually over time be fixed. But
I believe that's the AI pathing for their.
But I think it was sometime this past week when I was playing, I was out raiding a dungeon or something for stuff. I was away from my camp for maybe an hour. I get back, and one of my pals is lying at the tippy top of a tree, and this thing is giant, but he's somehow balancing on the top of the tree, passed out because it was starving and lost all of its health. It was close to death, and I'm like, "Come on!"
Nice. Well, it's kind of like Lego Fortnite. Like the NPCs couldn't open doors.
Yeah.
And so and so it's just like they get trapped in the building
there.
and or they would stand right in front of the fucking
and you
door,
can't get through.
And then you couldn't get in. And then
but however,
break the door down.
with that one specific thing though,
they fixed it.
With your city dwellers or whatever they're called, the NPCs in Fortnite standing in front of the door, real people do that shit too.
It's true.
I can't tell you how many times I go to the grocery store, I've got my cart, I'm trying to walk through the door, and someone is just standing there. They're not doing anything.
Dude,
they're just standing there.
If I'm at Walmart or Target or whatever, you're getting out of my way. I'm one of those people to where it's just I've got places to be if you're standing in the middle of the aisle.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. I do not wait for people because that drives me insane. Somebody will just stop in the middle of the fucking aisle, on their phone, looking something up or whatever. It's move off to the side.
That's what I do. I'll be at Ralph's and I'll be like, oh, hey, I want to get this thing. Let me see if there's a coupon for it on the Ralph's app.
Right, and I
move off to the side.
Yes, but people will stand in the middle of the aisle and block everybody's way.
It's
so, just like those stupid
those people who do that, we call them NPCs.
Right? Well, yeah.
We just straight up just call them NPCs. oblivious to everything other than just
Yeah.
what their one-track mind is doing or is programmed to do, and that's
Wait,
it.
so
Yeah.
going back to your Palworlds thing
yeah.
about your pet, did you ever play Son of Forest when it came out on early access last year?
No. Like I remember
Okay,
hearing
so-
about it, but I never did anything with it.
So Son of Forest is coming out, I don't remember when. I think it's coming up soon for its like full release. But it's a survivor game, same thing, kind of building, resource gathering. But you have this helper named Kelvin, and you can tell him to do certain things to like help you with your base. I cannot stress how many videos I saw of someone like Kelvin go get more wood while they're building their house, and Kelvin walks around and takes the wood from the base of their house, and then the whole thing just comes down.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Oops.
Like if you go onto TikTok when you're like bored, just type in Kelvin Son of Forest. The amount of videos of players just like no, wait, retreat, don't do that.
Like
I think adding
Sounds like an
that
amazing
is
game.
great. Yeah,
I kind of want that now. Like I think I want a game like I want some sort of an RPG where you have a party, and one of the party members that has to be with you all the time is like Leroy Jenkins, and just will go out of his way to fuck up your life.
That is us right now on Baldur's Gate. So we stream Monday nights Baldur's Gate 3 crew.
Yeah, I tried to.
Chaos the whole time.
I tried to get on to watch you guys this past Monday, but day job stuff just took over my life.
You're all good, but utter chaos. Kevin died within the first tutorial. Like we went to go free the brain, and we came back from the cutscene dead. We were like,
"Uh-oh,
sir, what did you touch?" We have a dad who every week is like, please don't talk to anyone. Don't touch anything. Don't talk to anyone. Next thing you know, Danny comes up, touches the horn. We're like utter chaos.
That's great. I mean, to be fair,
it sounds like if like the three of us were video game characters.
When
you know.
Oh
when
my
I
God, we would end up killing each other because we...
like I'm the guy who's like I usually play chaotic neutral. Because I don't know how else to exist. Like, I feel like that's just who I am. So it just comes out. And I will help, but I will also ruin whatever plans you had. Maybe not purposely, but it just kind of turns out that way. What other games were we? The Steam Next Fest. That was a big thing.
This week is Steam Next Fest. It goes all the way until Monday. Now, if you don't know what Steam Next Fest is, it happens about 3 times a year where, Steam, the PC game mecca that we all give money to on a regular basis. They gather tons of demos, hundreds of demos that will become available. These usually include a lot of indie games, but one of the games that we saw come available was actually featured at the Game Awards for last year, and that's the Legends of Kanzera, which is actually going to be published by EA Games. So you get like a lot of cool, just different things, whatever you're looking for. But for a whole week, the games are available to download. These are demos. They can have anything from what I would say like the big theme this Steam Next Fest is Metroidvania games. There are so many different style of these games happening right now. We also are seeing a lot of choice matter games. Cozy games are really popular. I also have to say, for some reason, we are seeing a lot of games that are controller only, and that is a pet peeve I have as a PC player. I understand having both. I do not understand having Steam, known for PC games, being only controller. That would be to me like if I went to a PlayStation and like, this is only a keyboard game. I'd be like, what's happening here?
Yeah, well, that's something that we were talking about before. I'm pretty sure this was before you came on, but for me, like the games that I play, whether I decide to play them on my console, either the Xbox or the PlayStation or the computer, depends entirely on what game it is and how the game functions. Because something like StarCraft, like RTS, some RPGs, like point and click adventure type stuff, I prefer playing those on the computer. Because it's easier with a mouse and keyboard, whereas for me, like first-person shooter type stuff, my hand-eye coordination is not great. So playing it with the controller is a lot easier than having to worry about where WASD is on the keyboard.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
It's something with a lot of menus, mostly like traditional RPGs and stuff. I will like to use a controller, but all the stuff you can play on a computer, like that. I don't switch between console and PC for the most part because most of the games I have play are all PC based.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
there
obviously I could plug my controller into my computer, which I do,
Right.
which I do, depending on the game. Like every once in a while, when we were playing Lego Fortnite or Palworld or whatever, I would plug my controller into the computer to play that there. But I also use my console as like my entertainment hub. So HBO Max and Disney Plus, Hulu, YouTube TV, all that stuff runs through my console. So that just makes it easier for me there. And I figure, well, I've got the console already. Why don't I play the games on it?
Right.
And there's a handful of games that you just can't get on the PC that you have to play on the console.
That's true.
Yep.
True that.
Like Spider-Man 2 for maybe a few more months.
Yeah, right? Well, that was... Spider-Man 2 is why I got the PS5. I was like, I know I want to play this game. I hadn't played the first one, so I'm going to get it. I still haven't played it, though.
Are you still...
I've got to finish the Black Cat DLC in the first Spider-Man game. Then I'll move on to Miles Morales, and then I'll play Spider-Man 2.
100% platinum trophied Spider-Man 2 in less than 48 hours, like real time, not game time.
That's insane.
My roommate played Spider-Man. I just have a bone to pick with the community because they got so salty when they didn't win Game of the Year for no reason.
It wasn't Game of the Year.
It was not Game of the Year. Like your game.
And this was the only game of those selections that I played. And I know that wasn't Game of the Year.
That was the thing to me, was just so crazy. Like how hard they went. I was like, everyone loves their games. That's cool. You do you, boo-boo. But like at the end of the day, I don't need to fight you between if Baldur's Gate 3 is a better game than Spider-Man 2.
Yuri Lowenthal for his
that dude is fucking great.
Performance as Spider-Man.
I love that guy.
I think that went kind of under the radar, but the actual game of itself, I definitely that wasn't gonna win Game of the Year with that selection of games. I mean, it didn't have a chance against that selection of games. So,
but it was just so funny to me, the discourse that happened. And people are like, no, people lined up for their PlayStations, and I'm like, so. People have been waiting months to play Baldur's Gate on their PlayStation. I'm sure if they had a deal, they'd probably buy some too. Like,
yeah. Like I said, I'm a major Spider-Man fanboy, and even I'm like, okay, come on,
Yeah, it always tickles me how out of nowhere, for example, the Pokemon people who are mad at Palworld when you're like, Pokemon, you're not even an original
Just
idea.
Don't play the game.
How are you?
Yeah, I was talking to someone else about that. It's what was it? Dragon Quest? Is that where they got the inspiration for a lot of the characters?
Dragon Quest had similar character concepts and stuff. Yeah. Although I don't remember what it did. How much earlier did Dragon Quest?
Dragon Quest is an older game. Yeah, I think 80s? It started back in the 80s. Yeah,
80s, I believe.
What else were we talking? Oh, the Disney thing.
Oh,
Disney that's
Fortnite.
ridiculous. Like Bryce and I were talking about this a bit last night. Was it like 1.5 billion?
The Walt Disney Corporation now owns 10% of Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's Epic Games that they own 10% of, right?
Epic Games. Epic Games.
Which is so intriguing to me because I want to know where their where their mindset is in this situation. Because they're coming off Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is very similar to the Fortnite model. It's doing extremely well. I think it's a Gameloft game. Is
that sounds
publishers.
Right. The mobile company.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's definitely PC, all of the consoles. But
so what's the situation? Disney bought 10% of
Disney
Epic
wanted to a deal where they're going to bring a lot of and it's not just games. So it's games, shopping experience, being able to watch content. They said repping your fandoms in Disney style. They and from the picture, it looks like a giant Fortnite map. but like broken up into different Disney sections. So
It
like you
looks
have
like
like
Walt Disney World, but in Fortnite. Like that's
yeah.
Oh, this
And
is
you have, like,
sorry.
ESPN,
I've got to
I
interrupt you for a quick second. Have you seen?
Do
And
it.
this is completely off topic, but have you seen any of the promo stuff coming out of Universal's Epic World
No.
or Epic Universe? It's their new theme park stuff. It looks amazing when you hop off the stream.
like Epic, as in like Epic Games.
No. That's why I thought about it. They're just calling it Epic Universe, which is like a new island that they're adding to Universal Orlando. But it looks
Interesting.
amazing. Definitely look it up when you have a chance because I can't wait to go. I haven't been back to Florida in like 20 years, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. But like with this Disney stuff, like of course at the end of the trailer they say like coming soon-ish or whatever, so that means like it'll get here when it gets here. But Bob Iger like came out and said like this won't be ready for like 2 to 3 years. It's like why are you announcing this right now?
Well,
then?
I mean,
Like,
probably because the news would have come out of like one of their investor meetings or something, and they probably wanted to get ahead of it so that like people weren't like, oh my god, Disney is buying Epic Games. They want to put it out themselves.
My theory is Epic Games is hurting right now. They won in that lawsuit with Apple where they didn't really get what they wanted from it. They did just a giant layoff that was like 13% of their team. And I feel like they're in a position with the launch that we saw with Lego Fortnite and the rhythm game and the racing game that they're trying to change their model. And for me, I feel like maybe it's because they're starting to struggle a little bit as a company. Even though on Fortnite, we are like, oh, they're putting out all this stuff, constantly doing new brand deals. They must be thriving. But I feel like this is a situation where Disney's going to come in and be like, let me help you. And then just like they did with like ABC and all the TV channels, they start to like,
Fortnite is.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is like I think this is like the beginning of Disney trying to fully
see. This is where I'm surprised that part of their deal with Apple or their lawsuit against Apple didn't end up with Apple being the one that was going to be like, you know what, we're going to buy 10% of you. Because
like Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, no. Like, have you seen the people walking around on the street with the Apple Vision Pro goggles on or whatever? Fortnite is turning into the Oasis. So Apple having the Vision Pro goggles and owning part of Epic Games just leads us just right down that path to Ready Player One.
But I would almost feel like what I wasn't aware of was how integrated Disney had come with the Unreal Engine that Fortnite uses.
Yeah.
I was not aware that they use this in like over 13 Disney attractions. It's like in their all of their new Star Wars stuff. It's in other things they've done, and I feel almost like Fortnite wouldn't accept Apple to come in because of that lawsuit, because there's that bitter blood. And so already having this partnership with Disney, this was probably like the most simplest kind of like partnership that they could create without taking too much away from either person, without feeling like someone was going to step on each other's toes. I just feel like they're doing so much, or they're talking about how much it is, that it's unclear exactly what we can expect.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're not heading towards Ready Player One. Maybe we're heading towards Upload instead. And Disney buying into Epic Games is the first step of them creating this integrated.
Here's exactly what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. You know,
okay.
Someone write this down so we can come back to this in the
Somebody
future.
write this down. This is exactly what's going to happen. Watch this. Okay. So Epic, you know, like Disney comes in, buys 10% of it. It's a huge success, and they buy all of it. People have been like rumoring or speculating for years that Apple could buy Disney. So Disney buys Epic, Apple buys Disney. There. Apple owns basically everything at that point.
I feel like I would be so shocked if something came out and like Apple was like, we just bought Disney. I'd be like, what is happening?
That's expensive. I don't think Apple can afford it.
I mean, Apple has a lot of money. They have a lot of money. We are sorry, not that we're out of time.
Go ahead.
But we're almost Richard, who used to write for us, Richard Nemmons, he went over, he started writing for the Direct. He's going to be joining us in just a couple of minutes to talk about current TV stuff. So we have a couple of minutes left here to wrap up on video games. What, like, if there is anything that you think people need to know about what's happening now in the games, what is it?
Support your indie developers, 100%.
Yeah.
Always going to say it. If you see a game that's on Twitter, if you see a game anywhere, even if it's in development and it's on Steam, wishlist it. Because wishlisting, I feel like, is so underutilized, and people don't realize that it really does feed into the algorithm to help indie developers, and it is one of the best ways that you can support your game that you're excited to see come out, that maybe may not eventually, if it doesn't get the support, might get the axe. We've seen a lot of games all of a sudden just be like, nope, sorry, there was not enough excitement for this, so we pulled the plug.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Support. You got to support everyone. Support from the writing, support from the things. Also, one other thing, Baldur's Gate people, when it comes to the voice of Astarion, respect his decisions. This man just came out recently saying that he was not comfortable with the recent sexualization of him as a voice actor because Baldur's Gate is very sexual. And there's this giant discourse, and all I gotta say is love your games, but respect the people who create the games on all levels. Because as a community, we are going through changes with AI and stuff, and the only way we can get through it is by coming together as people who love games and who make the games.
Completely agree.
And Fast Plant in the chat agrees with Kimmy.
Yep.
100%.
But thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely.
Congratulations on the
you.
start of your series.
Thank you. We appreciate having you here. I'm sure you will be back sooner or later to discuss more video game stuff. Hang out here for just a second because I'm going to automatically switch. I'm going to try and automatically switch you with Richard, but I don't know if that's going to work. So we will see. We will see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Who knows? He's coming into the thing now. If you're people watching on Twitch, you're not going to be able to see him, but everyone else can see him there. But while we're waiting for that, Richard, you are a little out of focus.
Uh-oh.
Unacceptable.
Just a little bit. All right.
Be careful. He might come into your house and fix your camera.
That's all good. All right. Let's see
Yeah.
Let's see if I can make this switch.
We have faith in you, Josh.
All right.
Let's see it.
I think.
Oh, actually, he's a little more clear now.
Oh, he's a little small, but he's there. All right, all right, Kimmy. We'll talk to you later.
Man,
Richard, how is it going? While you chat, I'm gonna fix your nameplate here and get you actually looking the way you should.
You've walked into the most professional, Twitch production ever made. Oh, boy.
Hi, Richard.
Man,
how's
good
it
to
been?
see you guys.
Yeah, Richard, it's been a while.
It has been a couple years.
I think
has
I was
been.
talking to Josh. I think it's been 3 years since it's all connected.
Yeah. Oh my God, crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? Like we talked a little bit on Twitter the other day.
I trying to keep busy. I'm sure you guys are dealing with it there. We've had to change so much over at the Direct. Like pretty much we're just covering everything now.
Yeah.
Instead of just like Marvel, DC, Star Wars. I've had to do so much like new stuff, and over the last like maybe 6 9 months or so, it's been crazy. But I'm pushing through, just trying to stay busy as much as I can.
Yeah. It's we were talking about that too. Like it's just the industry has changed a lot, and like you could see it just with broadcast, in general, just news and every other media outlets like LA Times just released a lot of people. So we're in an interesting era, and I'm curious about how it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Fingers crossed we'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being a lot more video content. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, we tried that back like 6 years ago, the whole pivot to video thing, and I think in my opinion, you need to have like a healthy mix of both the web content and the video
web
stuff.
and video.
Yeah, and like social media is kind of where things are going.
Yeah.
TikTok. So I'm unfortunately not really big in using TikTok, so I feel like that's an area that I need to correct.
I'm a big watcher but I have no idea.
Yeah.
There weren't any. Like, I feel like a boomer.
I need to figure out what I
trying
want to do on TikTok because
Yeah.
I have an account, but I don't know if I want to do anything on
Exactly.
Yeah, so
yeah.
the only thing on my TikTok right now is I made a like a fan cast for a new version of Clue because Ryan Reynolds has been attached to make an updated version of it for like the past 15 years. And I saw something about it that just triggered me. I was like, I need to make a thing. Like there, you know, like there's a lot of times where like I'll see something and I'm like, I should make content based on this. And this was like the one time that I actually did. So I recreated the end credits from the movie and replaced the people on the cards with the people that I wanted to see in it. It's really cool. You can go to my TikTok and check it out if you want to.
What's your TikTok?
I'll post it somewhere. It's Vogon Poetry Slam. It's the same as my Twitter, same as my Instagram.
Nice.
So it's around. But we brought you on to talk about new TV. And not necessarily new TV, but just kind of what's happening in the world of television and streaming and everything. Because and this kind of started because I saw you posting about Percy Jackson on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I just watched the finale for Percy Jackson too. And Bryce, you also watched Percy Jackson. So, I know, Shea, you didn't even start it yet, right?
I read the books as a kid.
No, I have not started Percy Jackson yet.
Did you see either of the movies?
I saw the first movie. I did not see the any of them following that first one.
Did you?
But,
did you?
I'm
like
not familiar with it.
The series makes the first movie look like the biggest dumpster fire. Like,
and it's sad because
that first movie was a dumpster fire, so it wasn't that hard to do. So.
It's that's one of those sad things though too, because I like everyone that was in the movie. Like I think everyone that was in the film, like it was great. I think it was great casting.
They're good actors.
I think they're good actors. It's kind of like the first Star Wars prequel. Like you watch it and you're like, I've seen these people in movies where they're good actors. What happened here? Yeah. Like I enjoy the movie for what it is, but it just seems like everyone was calling in their performances.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like they were in a Luc Besson movie.
Or like they weren't familiar with the source material or
something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Because
except for Sam Jackson.
Walker
Jackson
Scoville,
like fucking knocked and what's his name? The guy that plays Palpatine. The two of them.
Oh,
and
Ian McDermott.
Yeah, Ian McDermott and Ewan McGregor were all like solid. Like the three of them were really good, but all the other like
wait. I completely did not realize we switched to Star Wars because I thought you were talking about them being in Percy Jackson. I was going to say I do not remember any of them being in there, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
We got Phantom Menace defenders in the chat right now.
Oh, well, I don't hate on people who like the movie.
I don't hate on people who like it.
It's I
just hate on the movie.
Yeah. And I'll watch it. Like if I see it on, I will stop and I will watch the movie. Yeah. So I don't hate it. I just think other Star Wars movies are better.
I mean, here's the thing with the Percy Jackson shows. Like they actually had Rick Riordan, the author of the books, as a writer and a producer on the show. Walker Scoville, who played Percy Jackson in the show, was familiar with the books. He had read all the books before getting the role.
Oh yeah, well that kid is really good too. What's the something Scoble?
Walker
Scoble. I saw. Did you see the Adam Project?
Yes.
He was
on
great.
My list. I need to see that.
He was fantastic in that.
I'm pretty sure I watched it because he was cast as Percy.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that kid's so good.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like he is such a and again that was a Ryan Reynolds film, and he was a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. And like he literally could recite the entire script of Deadpool 2.
I was just gonna say there's a video of him doing the entire opening monologue from Deadpool 2.
I have not seen that. I need to find that.
It's amazing. He nailed it.
Yeah, I love him. He's awesome.
That is fun. That's funny.
And Percy Jackson also did just get renewed for season 2, so we're going to the Sea of Monsters.
Yep.
So
it's so funny too because I didn't grow up like reading the books or anything, but I really got into this show and I really love the story and everything. I'm gonna dive into the audiobooks at some point
Yeah, you should.
Because I really
cool.
want to like
and,
learn more about the story and everything.
It's not just Percy Jackson. It's literally like this whole like almost like MCU of Greek gods, Roman gods, Norse gods. I mean, like they have like multiple different like book series set in this like same universe.
So it sounds like I don't know if either of you guys. Well, you should be. You know, Good Omens on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
So one of the authors, Terry Pratchett, he co-wrote it with Neil Gaiman. But he has his own series of books that take place in what he calls Discworld. I almost wore my Discworld t-shirt, but I wore my Quarks Bar t-shirt instead. But Discworld it's a planet, but it's like a flat Earth that is resting on the back of 4 elephants that are standing on top of a giant turtle that's flying through space.
Wow.
And he has books that take place in this universe, but not all of them are related to each other. So there's the first 3 books are focused on this guy named Rincewind, who's a magician at like one of the universities there. But then there's also books about Death, who's a character. There's this guy called Eric the Viking, and there's a book just about him. Sometimes the characters will pop up in the background of other books, but their main focus is on, you know, whatever it is. And that what you're describing for Percy Jackson sounds like this a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, because they have the Percy Jackson series, and then they went to like
Fast
Heroes
Plant
of
knows
Olympus.
Discworld. Sorry, I'm always excited when I see people know what like these random things that I'm talking about.
And then Heroes of Olympus kind of focused on Roman gods, but then also the Greek gods at the same time. And then they did Trials of Apollo, where like Apollo was turned back into a kid, and then he was like the main character of the Camp Half-Blood Chronicles or whatever. But then there also was like Annabeth has a cousin who's related to a Norse god. I can't remember if it's Thor or what. But then they also did a series on the Egyptian gods too. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it is kind of like that, to where like they're all set in the same universe, but they don't necessarily connect directly to each other. But they're all in the same world, and like but it does get kind of weird though whenever like we have like Annabeth who's like the daughter of Athena, and then like her cousin is Magnus Chase, who's like related to a completely different set of gods, you know.
So
like
what
Norse
what this conversation is telling me is that I need to read more. Because like
you and me both.
I used to read a decent amount. I don't know if you can. You probably can't see it behind me, but if I move out of the way here, like I've got a bookshelf over there with like that. That's not even all the books that I've read. I haven't even read all of the books that are on there, but I've read.
They're just there for looks.
Well, I mean, some of them I inherited from my dad when he passed away. Some I got, you know, from various people. So they're just kind of there on the shelf. But like I've been like. Shea and I have been collecting comics for like 2 years. We're a few months behind right now, but like even the comics that I have, I've got like boxes of comics that I haven't read yet, just because I am really bad at time management.
Yeah.
So
I know that feeling.
Fast Plant says Kane Chronicles. That's one of the shows that I just mentioned. An adaptation of that would be really cool. They were working on one for Netflix, and I think it fell through, which is probably for the best, because they should probably just give it to Disney so they can connect with Percy Jackson. But yeah, they were working on one. I think it was supposed to be like a movies instead of a show for Netflix. And then they stopped. I don't think they're working on it anymore, which is probably a good thing. Just give it to Disney.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe in development they were like, maybe this isn't the best thing, because it's like I DC did that a lot too. Like with the shows on WB, you know, they had the Arrowverse, but then you had Gotham that was on another channel. It's CW. You had Gotham. You have like Doom Patrol and Titans on HBO Max. And it never made any sense to me why they would license everything out to be on different networks when they could have, like, they could put everything together. Still had it be separate. Not necessarily. You know, like comic books. Like if you're reading a Batman comic book, you're not necessarily going to see Green Arrow or Superman in them. Like they might show up every once in a while, but the stories kind of stand on their own. That's why like even Marvel is the same way. That's, you know, like the X-Men might have some like world-ending apocalypse thing that they're dealing with, and the Avengers are nowhere in sight because the X-Men are dealing with it. But so
Right.
I don't understand why the TV stuff
X-Men saves
do the
day.
same thing. I am excited for the new X-Men cartoon though.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and me, I can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Deadpool trailer hopefully finally coming out. I mean,
the big game, aka the Deadpool 3 premiere. So
right.
like I'm a football fan enough, and it's gonna be fun watching the game. But I cannot wait for the Deadpool 3 trailer. It's gonna be amazing.
I mean,
that's tomorrow, huh?
It's the Taylor Swift show, right?
Yeah. Okay. For like
hey,
30
no better
minutes,
time to
like
announce her casting in Deadpool 3.
game.
I don't mind.
3 will probably be at the Super Bowl longer than Taylor.
I don't mind Taylor Swift. Like I'm
overreact.
Yeah,
so bad.
I'm kind of tired of the discourse over her in the Super Bowl. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Who cares? Yeah, she's just
Somebody,
like,
I remember
it's the NFL
counted,
that's like going overboard with it or whatever. So
somebody counted how long she was on screen in the last game in the championship game. I think it was like 20 or 30 seconds the entire game.
Yeah.
People are going so.
Yeah, it was like less than 1% of the screen time was devoted to her, or less than 0.5% or something.
Something like
it's
that.
Just so
really low number.
But you know, I as an entertainment outlet, we have to cover the stuff that's big in the entertainment world. But some of the ones out there, I feel like they're just making controversy to get the clicks. And while sometimes that happens unintentionally, when you can tell that it's purposeful, I'm just like, and I'll just go on record saying I apologize if we've ever actually done that, but I don't.
It's really mostly the NPCs out there of the world who are
intentional or not. You know, I mean, it happens, but
I agreed.
But I don't know. So outside of Percy Jackson on Disney Plus, we also have the Echo show that recently went through.
Yes.
Again, Shea, I know you didn't watch it, right?
No.
What do you watch, man?
Well, right now, Shea doesn't really have a television, like he kind of does.
Right now, I watch. I watch about 10 hours of wrestling a week. So,
that's true.
I mean,
that's true.
That's a lot of television already. So,
Shea's just waiting for the wrestling conversation to start, which we'll be late. That'll be a little bit later.
Another hour and a half.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's 1:15 now. That's about when we were planning to start that. But again, like it's fine. It's fine. I told Jeff that we were running a little late. So with Echo and Daredevil Born Again, even with the Hawkeye show, we got Kingpin back, and She-Hulk. We saw it was when we saw Daredevil again for the first time.
Well, Spider-Man, but I guess
Spider-Man.
Yeah. So
Daredevil. Yeah.
So now, after years of debate, it seems that all the Netflix stuff is officially MCU canon.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, do we know for a fact that everything that happened in the show happened in the MCU, or is it one of the type of things where it's like a soft reboot where they're like, okay, everything that happened in the shows is canon until we say it's not?
The way I'm looking at it is that everything happened within the MCU. Because I think just recently they split it up by seasons, like when exactly all the seasons happened in the MCU timeline. So I gotta take a deeper look at that and see what it is.
Yeah, but I mean they have it on their official timeline.
Yeah.
So they want people to watch these shows.
Oh yeah,
so,
I'm just glad we finally have an answer one way or another.
Because that was another conversation that I was sick of hearing. Was I was just like, because like in every conversation that I got pulled into over it, my position was always I don't care. Either they are canon or they aren't canon, and I'm fine whichever one it is. I just want to know from the source which one it is.
Yeah. Well, and guess who asked the question to Brad Winterbaum or whatever?
Oh yeah, was it Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course
it was Joe.
Of course it was. But no, and like I had dedicated Twitter accounts like coming personally for me over this canon stuff, and I got so sick of it, I didn't even engage with it whenever I could. But I'm just glad we finally have an answer, and I mean, great, the stuff's canon now, and it's awesome. They're great shows. I just can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, well, it seems like Daredevil Born Again especially is going in a much better direction than where they were going before, because they were talking about how they were going to kill off like Karen and Foggy off screen before the show. And, like,
that wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely horrendous. But now, like, they're all three of them are back. Kingpin is back. Bullseye is back. Punisher is back. I mean,
wait, is Colin
back.
Farrell playing Bullseye?
No, Bullseye was in the show.
From season 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I
only saw half of season 1.
I need to rewatch season 3 because I know I watched it, but I don't remember it.
It's been a while since I watched all of it. I got to do a rewatch for sure.
Like I remember,
actually,
like I remember Iron Fist season 1 and 2 more than I remember the last season of Daredevil, and
well, that's ridiculous.
I didn't watch the Punisher show, and now I don't remember if I watched the last season of Jessica Jones. I'm pretty sure I did, but.
I watched the Punisher trailer. That was pretty cool. Trailer. That's pretty much where I've been at for the last couple of years. It's like I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's cool. And
Fast Player wants Colin Farrell back as Bullseye.
Oh my god! Hey, Deadpool 3.
I liked him in the movie.
He was great as Bullseye.
I love to see where he was on the plane and he flicked the nut down the woman's throat because she wouldn't shut up.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
My god.
Here's the thing about the Daredevil movie. There are, like, it's a horrible film, right? But there
so
are
2003.
some really good aspects of it. I thought Ben Affleck was actually pretty good as Matt Murdock. I thought who's the guy who played Kingpin? He was really good.
Duncan. He was amazing, actually.
Yes, he was really good.
Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad what happened to him.
He did pass away, but yeah.
But
have you seen the R-rated cut of
I haven't.
Daredevil?
Joe tells me that I need to watch that, and
the
so
much better
of Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds apparently is actually better too.
Sure.
No, the director's cut of the R-rated cut of Daredevil was actually really good because it's just it makes it more gritty. Okay. It makes it more gritty, which is what it kind of needed for that early 2000s.
Oh, I guess now that we're talking about Daredevil, this is the perfect time to show off my really cool figure.
Nice.
Is the Spider-Man Far From Home, Matt Murdock, he comes with the brick.
Nice.
It's weird seeing my reflection in the box.
Yeah, I'm like, why is my face on Matt Murdock's crotch?
And we're getting Jennifer Garner back as Elektra in Deadpool 3, so that's gonna be fun.
Man, I know we said it before, but I'm really excited for that movie. I think it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
That's the movie I can't wait for this year.
Like I watched.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Again, kind of off topic, but I watched the Marvels a couple of nights ago. I really liked it.
Me too.
It was super fun.
I didn't hate it as much as everybody else. I wasn't super into it, but I didn't
Fair
get
enough.
the extreme hatred.
I think Shea's probably gonna make fun of me for saying this, but I think they could have spent a little bit more time focusing on Monica Rambeau prior to her joining up with Sam Jackson. I think we needed a little bit more of her. But other than that, I also really enjoyed the Miss Marvel TV show, and the fact that the beginning of this movie felt like the Miss Marvel TV show, and then kind of morphed along the way to feeling a little bit more like an MCU proper movie. I thought it was really good.
Yeah. And the three of them together were just extraordinary. That was what made the film, because without that, I probably would have not liked the film at all. But with the three of them interacting with each other, that was just gold, know. And so I hope we get more of that later on. But I don't know, because the movie didn't really do too well.
Yeah.
But
and Tamia Monvalon is one of the MVPs of the whole MCU.
She's great. Well, and she's writing Miss Marvel now, isn't she?
Oh yeah, comic, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is.
I can't wait to see what she does with that.
Yeah. I'm excited to see where her career goes too, because she's just.
Oh, me too.
She's just so much fun in that role. That I want to see her.
So perfect.
Yeah, I want to see her branch out and see what other types of movies or TV or whatever she's doing.
That almost seems like that's pretty much her.
I mean, it probably is.
Yeah.
Because she's like you were talking about Walter Scoble
cool.
being a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. Like, she's just a really huge Marvel and MCU fan. So like her getting
she's a diehard.
Yeah. It's her getting cast in this was. I think karma just waiting to happen.
Yeah, she was so perfect.
Good karma.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but before we move on from the Marvel stuff, what because we were talking about the Netflix stuff being canon now, what do you think that means for Agents of Shield?
R.I.P.
Shield's always been a tough one for me. I'm actually in the middle of a rewatch right now. I just finished season 2 the other night. To me, how I look at Shield, when they start going to like time travel and outer space and everything, that's when it really starts getting wonky to me. Like, I think everything up through the first 3, maybe 4 seasons or so, you can probably see as canon because I mean, Nick Fury comes in, and Maria Hill comes in. Sif is there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the MCU does. The movies don't reference it, but the shows you could tie back to where it happens in the MCU.
Right.
After that, it's a real toss up to me. Like once they go to like I said, outer space and time travel and everything. I mean, all of season 7 is them revisiting a lot of MCU stuff.
Yeah, like I think like you said, up through the what was it? Graviton.
Gravitonian, maybe.
Yeah. Whatever his name was, the dude from Heroes, who coincidentally also he voiced Iron Man in a bunch of the Avengers cartoons.
Which is really cool.
I think up until there when Thanos came in, because I think that's when they jumped to the future and they were on the Kree space station or something. Yeah, I think up until that point you could argue that it's canon, but I don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
I don't know.
and like with shows like Agents of Shield, there's quite a bit of problems there. But with like someone like Agent Carter, like why isn't that like on the official timeline right now? Like it's
Agent
so
Carter's
removed
for
from everything.
For sure canon.
And there's only like 6 episodes, so it's like it's not like there's enough to like.
Well, plus
screw up.
Jarvis showed up in Endgame, so
yeah.
And so that doesn't make any sense to me because it's so far removed from anything. Like it's not touching anything else. So like how
it doesn't matter.
How is it not canon?
Well, I want
Agent Carter. I should be canon.
Well, then do you make Thunderbolts canon? That first season of Thunderbolts canon. The ABC.
No, not Thunderbolts. Inhumans.
I consider it canon.
Not Thunderbolts. Inhumans. Thunderbolts. Inhumans.
I mean,
so he's in the movie.
So okay, so
he is. Black Bolt's in the movie.
I mean, Lucasfilm makes all filmed product.
I have mixed feelings about Inhumans.
For the most part,
I thought the first 2 episodes were pretty good. I don't think the first 2 episodes were any worse than the first few episodes of Agents of Shield. But after that, it went like it was like a ski slope. Like it just
Well, the whole thing with getting rid of Medusa's powers,
right? Well, they had to because they didn't have the budget for it. Yeah,
dumb. They didn't. I mean, I know, but
like I mean, I suppose
they were gonna make that a movie too. That's bad.
If it had been a movie,
I was looking forward to the movie.
Yeah, if it had been a movie, I'm pretty sure she would have had her hair throughout the entire thing.
Well,
absolutely. I wanted Vin Diesel to play Black Bolt.
I mean, he probably would have been.
Do you think he actually would have?
I think he would have.
I think he could have.
Yeah, but then it's just another role where he doesn't really.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
is the best. That's the best way to use Vin Diesel.
For Groot and a non-talking role for Black Bolt.
A talking role for Groot. He came in for like 2 hours one day, and then just reused the same voice lines for like the rest of eternity. Like
that dude made bank for saying "I am Groot."
I'm actually honestly surprised that he hasn't licensed his voice to Disney to use for Groot, to just like the same way
he probably
the same way like James Earl Jones did for Darth Vader, because like where AI voice replication is now, they could totally just use AI to do his voice.
I'm sure they could.
And it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm not necessarily saying that I'm for that in every single case for everything, but for saying I am Groot, sure. I think you can do it.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I just made $1 million.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I didn't really have much else on the TV lineup. We do. I know we want to get to wrestling because we've got Jeff waiting in the wings for that. I do want to mention just stuff that I've recently been watching that's fairly new. I watched the first season of Monarch, which is great. If you like the Godzilla stuff, it's definitely worth a watch. Kurt Russell is amazing. Wyatt Russell as Kurt Russell's son. Or not as Kurt Russell's son. Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell, as young Kurt Russell, is really good.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. I want to get into that.
that whole dynamic there is really
Yeah.
cool. The way they
I've only
did
seen
that.
the first Godzilla movie, the one with Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, but I want to get to the rest.
Yeah,
of them so I can catch up to Monarch.
I was the same. When I heard Monarch was coming out, I watched the trailer for it. I was like, this looks really good. Which of the movies have I seen and which haven't I seen? So I bought on Vudu. I bought the whole collection because it was on sale for like $25. I was like, great, done. I'll buy it.
Solid. Nice.
But in the timeline in the Marvel Monsterverse, is that what they're calling it now? I think, or not
I think so. Yeah,
Monsterverse. Whatever it is.
It's just called the Monsterverse.
just the Monsterverse. Universal.
Yeah, the Monsterverse.
No,
just Monsterverse.
It's not Universal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Because Universal monsters are different.
Right. Yeah, that's like Dracula and Wolfman and all that.
Yeah.
The dark universe that had one film.
You've got Godzilla 2014, then Kong Skull Island, which is a prequel, but it's also a prequel to Monarch, the TV show, because it takes place in both time frames. Then after those two, that's when Monarch takes place in between. So you don't need to watch the most recent films before you watch that.
Cool.
I'm going to watch everything after Skull Island when we get a little bit closer to the new movie coming out. Just so I have them fresh in my mind. I also watched For All Mankind, which is another Apple Plus TV series. Like this is one of those things that kind of pisses me off. I love all these Apple TV sci-fi shows, but there's a channel that Universal Studios owns that's called the Sci-Fi Channel, and they don't have shit on there. Like they've got like Resident Alien and Chucky, and those are like the two big shows that they have. I don't understand. I don't get it.
Wow.
Like Sci-Fi Channel had The Expanse, they canceled it. That went to Amazon, and Amazon made the show better. Like it was good. It was good on Sci-Fi, but it was better.
Real quick, Fast Plant is delusional and thinks they're bringing back the Dark Universe.
Oh God!
I mean, they might not call it the Dark Universe, but
Oh, you know what?
I definitely.
He's actually kind of right, because I think at Universal Studios, they were doing a theme park thing and calling it the Dark Universe.
I think that's part of the Epic Universe.
Yeah.
So he's calling it.
Yeah, it's part of Epic Universe.
So I think he's kind of right, actually.
I don't know if they'll call it Dark Universe, but yeah, I'm sure they'll bring back Dracula and the Wolfman and whatever else.
Yeah.
Which is that one is supposed to include a lot of Horror Night stuff in there.
Yeah,
what the Dark Universe is supposed to, as well as also the classic horror movies.
Well, I thought it was a good idea,
whether or not
the Mummy was horrible.
Yeah, which is also sad because
I still haven't seen it. I don't necessarily want to.
It was fine. It was fine. Like it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't a great movie. It's one of those movies where like I'm not sad that I watched it, but that's about it. Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I just really enjoyed Jake Johnson too. So just seeing him,
he was horrible in that movie. Are you kidding me? Like I like Jake Johnson, but he was awful in it. Like,
I mean, I think that was more the character.
I like New Girl. I like him as Spider-Man, but he was awful in that.
I mean, that just kind of
him as Peter B. Parker is amazing.
That kind of goes to what I was talking about with like the Phantom Menace, where it's like we know these people can act, like we know it, but for some reason in some things it's just like. Okay, I guess not here.
Totally.
So For All Mankind, it's an alternate history show where the basic premise is the Russians beat us to landing on the moon first, so the space race never ended. Each season takes place in a different decade. So the first season took place in the 60s, second season was in the 70s, third season was in the 80s. The next season that's coming out should be if season 5 gets greenlit, that should be in like the 2010s. So it's really interesting and it's really cool how they tie it all together. They also have a really cool thing on Apple TV where in between the seasons when the new season comes out, they add like news clips to catch you up on the alternate history that happened between the end of the previous season and the beginning of the new season. So like where history changed and where it kind of stayed the same or what was different.
Did you say culinary? Yes. Culinary. So talk about the foods that change throughout. Okay. I like that. I like that because definitely changes. Food trends change. Yeah, I mean it changes a lot.
Star Trek. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, obviously. The new season of
that new movie with Michelle Yeoh.
The Section 31 movie finally went to production. We've been waiting for that for like 4 years now. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. There, one of the actors from the first couple of seasons of Discovery, Shazad Latif, he ended up becoming a Section 31 agent in the show. I don't know if he's going to be in the show because I still don't know what era the show takes place in, because Michelle Yeoh's character kind of went through a portal to a different.
It's a film, not a show.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, the show.
Yeah.
It originally was going to be a show, but now it's a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I was like, I thought it was gonna be a show. Just like how Madam Web I thought was a show.
Oh, really?
But I don't know what year it takes
Yeah.
place in, or if it's going to take place in multiple years. So I don't know who we're going to see show back up in that. And the 5th and final season of Star Trek Discovery is going to premiere on Thursday, April 4th. I'm excited to see that too. I'm really glad that the show didn't just get canceled and they have a way to end the show on their terms with like a proper ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they did that to Prodigy, right?
Yeah. So Prodigy.
Has new legs now,
Prodigy
though.
ended up getting picked up by Netflix because they had fully produced the season 2, and then Paramount Plus was like, you know what, we don't want this anymore, and that is just
Stupid.
Yeah, like that, like Warner Brothers and all these companies that are removing content from their things, like specifically with Star Trek and Paramount Plus, like. Paramount Plus is supposed to be
Star Trek made that service.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and it's supposed to be the home of Star Trek, but they keep losing the fucking movies. Like every few months, the movies end up moving from Paramount Plus to HBO or Paramount Plus to Netflix or whatever other service.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so stupid. Just pay the money to break the contracts and get everything back on your service, please. Just.
Right.
You know,
I think they're all on there right now.
Buy your shit.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's just.
But like that's just right now.
Yeah,
it's
dumb. It's dumb.
Again, but here's the thing though. It's the home of Star Trek. But then but to watch this other show, you're gonna have to go to Netflix.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
stupid.
yeah, so Netflix now has the rights to season 2, so they're going to air season 2. And Aaron Waltke, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, has said that depending on how well Prodigy does on Netflix, that there is potential for it to be picked up for a 3rd season, but people actually have to watch it. So if you're into Star Trek and you like those kind of shows, the team that's doing Star Trek Prodigy is from the Troll Hunters shows. They did the animation and they were the showrunners on that. So I think if you liked
that was like really popular.
Yeah, I think
too.
if you liked Troll Hunters, that you would like Star Trek Prodigy, even if you don't know it.
Which we had that
was Aaron Walker. Yeah, he just like randomly popped up on one of the streams where we were talking about Prodigy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was really
nice.
It was really dope.
That's cool.
But it's a good show. Like, even if you don't know anything about Star Trek, the first season does a good job of kind of, even though they're using some characters that have been in the show before, they do a good job of explaining everything because the characters are new to Starfleet themselves. So the characters in the show,
it's kind of connected to Voyager.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The main character that we've seen before is Captain Janeway from Voyager. So we see a bunch of the Voyager people pop back up. But because the main characters in the show, other than her, are like audience surrogates for people who aren't familiar with the show. As they learn about the Star Trek universe, the audiences as well. So it's definitely worth watching if that's the kind of thing that you're into. And then other than that, I'm watching Solo Leveling on Crunchyroll. And I'll bring this up to Jeff when he comes on to talk about wrestling with you guys, because he wrote an article for our website about Crunchyroll and Funimation. And the merger, and I know, Bryce, you were talking about this the other day too, with them removing the digital copies of everything. So that's like a big thing too.
Yeah.
But Solo Leveling it's and I believe it's pronounced isekai. It's a specific type of anime that takes place in a different world, usually where one of the main characters dies and is reincarnated in another universe and gets like special powers. And I've been watching a lot.
You
of
really
those.
like those, don't you?
Those
Josh?
I don't know why. Like, I randomly started watching one because the name was Reborn as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon alone, and I was like, I need to watch this. And so I started watching that, and now I'm watching a bunch of other stuff. It's not like I don't watch anime. Like I watched Sword Art Online. I used to watch Inuyasha when it was on what was it? Adult Swim. And
Tsunami,
Dragon Ball Z. I've watched anime in the past. I'm just not like an avid anime watcher. But now I've just been like after I watched all of the vending machine thing, I watched like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime again, because the name is That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. I was like, how could I not watch this? So now I just hunt down animes with like weird fucking titles. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, Space Jam. Space Jam is that kind of a thing. It's Michael Jordan gets pulled into another world, and he now has like the powers of a cartoon and has to help the cartoons win a basketball.
And then there was, Space
yeah.
And then there was Space Jam 2, which is just Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Here's all the stuff we have.
Yeah, exactly. This is everything that we're producing, everything that's coming out that you know about, too.
Big like commercial.
Seriously, it was a giant Warner Brothers commercial.
It definitely was.
Our time with Richard is almost coming to an end. We should be bringing Jeff in here in just a moment. But Richard, before you go, what else are you currently watching? What do you think people should be paying attention to?
Well, I'm keeping up with for work for the direct. I'm keeping up with the True Detective, the new season of True Detective. Solid TV. Jodie Foster's the main character this time around.
Easier to watch than the second season.
You know what's funny is I haven't watched the first 3 seasons, but I'm gonna check them out.
But
you are missing out on a gem of the first season, my friend. That is fantastic.
The first season was really good, but each season is independent, right? It's kind of like Fargo, where they're all kind of their own stories.
It's totally separate. Yeah.
Yes. Although apparently the first season does connect to the third season.
Okay.
Yeah, and potentially season 4.
And potentially season 4. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm watching right now.
So since I've seen the first season, I can just pick up with season 4 and I'm not going to be lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. It's still a completely independent story. It has ties. It just loose ties.
Yeah. And then one other one that I'm going to recommend to people, the first 2 seasons of Reacher on Prime Video.
That's such a dad show. That's totally a dad show. It's like Bosch, right?
Yes.
Well, then you should go watch it.
I mean, I probably will watch it at some point because I watched like the first 6 seasons of 6 seasons. The first few seasons of Suits I watched when it was on USA because again, those are my kind of shows. Yeah. And then again, when it went out to Netflix, I was like, oh, I can watch the last 2 seasons now. And so I did.
Yeah. I gotta get into Suits mostly just so I can see some more Dule Hell after his stuff in Psych.
He was only in the last season. Or the last 2 seasons,
Yeah. But yeah, Reacher's fun. Actually, one cool thing we got to do with the direct was we actually got to share a exclusive clip from one of the episodes of season 2, which was super cool. I got to write that up. But yeah, keeping up with that, keeping up with all the Marvel stuff and DC as much as I can. Excited for this year. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna be an absolute nut job when Deadpool 3 comes out. Like the next 6 months are gonna be real fun for me.
Along with everyone else,
Yes. Yeah, no, I literally have a Deadpool gaming chair in my office.
No, is it the Secret Labs?
I think so, or something similar.
Yeah.
We have a couple Deadpool heads, the automated heads.
Yeah,
I remember the one you had. You showed us that during our show.
Yeah. Because I think it was a Grubhub was running like a Deadpool promotion.
I think it was Grubhub.
Something like
Grubhub
that.
or Uber. Something like that.
Yeah, it was one of them was running a promotion. It was free. And each of us put, even though we live in the same place, each of us put in an order for it, and we got like a Deadpool, like a small Deadpool, like personal igloo cooler, like a lunchbox cooler.
Nice.
The Deadpool head that reacts to things and says things, and there was something else that it came with, but I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was. I'm sure we will be going into detail about Deadpool 3 next week because. That'll be interesting. Like all of the trailers because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun.
Oh, there it is. Shea got it. It's out of focus, but there it is. Yeah, there's the head.
Oh, there. Nice.
Wow, that's terrifying.
It kind of is.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. So Richard, it was great seeing you again. Great having you here.
Thank you, Richard.
Where can people find you on the social media? Where are you active the most?
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for having me. It felt like old times reconnecting with all three of you. I am mostly on the X, formerly known as Twitter.
I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter.
Yeah,
it's
me
Twitter.
too.
Oh yeah, me too. I still call it Twitter. It's always gonna be Twitter. But I'm on Twitter at Richard Nebens, Nebens. Same handle for Instagram, TikTok. I'm not really on TikTok or Instagram a ton, but hopefully I'll get to be more active on there at some point when I want to figure out what I want to do on there. But mostly Twitter now, and just trying to stay busy over at the Direct. Just pushing out articles when I can, and it's gonna be a fun year.
Right, and
awesome.
I obviously you are more than welcome back here anytime. I'm sure I will be reaching out probably this week to be like, hey, do you want to talk about any of the trailers from the Super Bowl? Like, I'm sure it'll be coming.
Yes.
Let's see. Stay with us for just 1 second here while I get Jeff into the room. And yeah, just look awkward or whatever.
Nice.
Dude, that's my life.
Always looking awkward.
That's pretty much my life too.
Yeah. You don't have
How's
to tell me to
everybody
do that.
doing? Hope y'all are having a great day.
Yeah, dude, awkward is like my base level.
Yeah. You and me both.
Base level awkward.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't know how else to be.
That's my agent name, base level awkward.
Oh god.
Dude, yeah, it's like a secret agent. Oh man.
Secret agent.
Okay,
man.
Jeff should be coming in. I see his little box on the screen. He's on mute though. Ooh, and Richard got small again. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Live adjustments.
Here we go.
Yeah, so let me go ahead and bring
live adjustments.
Jeff,
there he is.
Jeff,
Boo!
Jeff, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Houston Astros. Boo!
Whoa. Sorry.
All right, Richard, meet Jeff.
Jeff, you're muted, but you're really quiet.
Meet Richard. I'm gonna go ahead and switch you guys out now. Again, great seeing you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great seeing you guys, man. Thank you.
Have a good one, Richard.
Hey, everyone.
All right, and Jeff, you are now on. Even though your name says you're Richard, I will fix that now too. Are you good? Looks like he might still be having some technical issues here. So Jeff is here to talk about wrestling. I'm not so much of a wrestling guy. I watch it once in a great while. So
let's check to see if Jeff is here.
He's on mute still. Yep. Maybe.
You're muted on Teams.
All right, how about now?
Now we got you. Yeah, we got you.
All right, everyone.
And your name is correct now too.
First of this show, so thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Double referee here. All right, Super Bowl. We got a lot going on. It's a Super Bowl weekend. We're gonna be getting some big trailers and stuff.
Yeah, so
the world is upside down, but what else is new?
Right. So we were just ending our conversation on regular TV stuff. So before we jump into wrestling, what we were talking about Funimation and Crunchyroll, because I just recently started I guess not so recently, but I recently started getting more into anime. I've been watching it a lot more often now. And Crunchyroll purchased Funimation, right? Or did they merge?
Yeah, well, no, it's not. It's more like Sony Entertainment already owned Funimation, and I think they purchased Crunchyroll. So then
that sounds good. Yeah.
They both have the same parent company. So Funimation had their own anime streaming, simulcasting, and Blu-ray. So they basically merged the two companies, and the merger is about to complete. as of April 2nd. So they're going to take everything under the same umbrella. So that means right now you have if you have a Funimation account, you can migrate your Funimation account to Crunchyroll. But the big thing is Crunchyroll was like the largest anime distributor in like the country for a while. So you were getting a lot of your Blu-rays and DVDs from Funimation, and a lot of them come with a digital copy code. So if you've been buying a lot of anime DVD and Blu-ray over the years, if you're still supporting physical media and you got them from Funimation and you had those digital download codes, none of those are going to stick around in the upcoming April 2nd migration. So all those if you have a whole digital library on the Funimation app, on the Funimation website, they're gone. You're going to lose all that content.
You're losing it. They're completely taking it, even if you've already purchased.
So I have a question about that. So with that code that comes with the Blu-ray, like were you only able to redeem it through Funimation, or could you do it through Movies Anywhere, or
only for Funimation releases? We're only on the Funimation website.
Yikes!
Wow.
Yeah. Now, like some of those other movie companies, when they would have like the home video, you could do it like through some of those like Movies Anywhere or iTunes.
So I recently
Funimation you could never do that.
I had a physical copy of like the first 5 Jurassic Park movies that had digital codes for all of them in there. And when I went and put the codes in, it would let me redeem them on either Amazon, Vudu, or directly through Movies Anywhere. As an experiment, because Vudu is kind of weird sometimes and Amazon is kind of weird sometimes. Like some of the stuff that I have through Movies Anywhere, I did not purchase in 4K, but if I watch it on Amazon, I get the it pops up in 4K. If it's on Vudu, I get you need to upgrade this to 4K. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so I went back and forth with the different movies to see if they would pop up in 4K, if they were available in 4K on the different platforms. Not only one of them did though. I think it was the most recent, not the most recent Jurassic World movie, but the second one. That one popped up in 4K.
I had something similar like that happen to me, but it was between Movies Anywhere and Vudu. Movies Anywhere had all the special features of the Lord of the Rings extended editions that came with the original extended edition purchases, but then on Vudu, none of the special features were there. They were all just on Movies Anywhere, despite them both being 4K, despite them both being extended edition. It just, the special features, this was a massive part of Movies Anywhere, but that was
like a major reason to buy those like buy the actual film to get those like special features, because I could go stream Lord of the Rings on Max right now, but you can't get like any of like the commentary behind the scenes.
Well, I had with the Aliens.
Vudu has a lot of the bonus content for sometimes. What I'm waiting for is one of these streaming companies to come out where the digital version of the movie is basically just a recreation of the DVD. So you get
good luck with that.
Like when you click on the movie, you get the menu that pops up that gives you access to all the special features and everything. Because like what was it that I bought recently? The Abyss. And the Abyss came with both the theatrical version and the special director's cut or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But the director's cut was like buried under the special features instead of just being an option. And I feel like that's doing them a disservice because it's keeping some of the alternate cuts out of the view of the audience that might want to see it.
Speaking of special versions, on Movies Anywhere of Aliens, I have the theatrical cut of Aliens, but on Movies Anywhere, it also gives me the special edition. But on Vudu, it's 2 separate purchases. I only have the special edition, and the theatrical cut I do not own, and I would have to buy it separately.
So it's a good example. We need to preserve physical media, but if we're only digital, we could lose access to versions like that, Shea. We might not have. let's say you want to watch the director's cut of Aliens, or you want to watch the theatrical cut, and you want to compare and contrast the viewing experience. Same thing with The Abyss, Josh, because that has two cuts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what's the other one that I have that? Independence Day.
Movie.
Independence Day came with the theatrical cut and the extended cut.
Right.
I also have I bought the physical copy of it, but Close Encounters of the Third Kind, that came with like 4 different versions of the movie.
Right. So we're losing, with digital, we're losing accessibility to certain things. So to me, what's happening with Funimation here is just sort of like a microcosm of the physical media, and that we don't really own we don't own digital libraries. Despite that, all the media companies are selling us access. We're like selling access to digital libraries, but we don't own any of that content.
Honestly, I think this is going to be a thing that Congress is actually going to have to take up sooner or later, because it's an anti-consumer practice. If I bought something and I bought a license to watch the thing, you should not be allowed to take that license away from me.
Yeah.
Unless obviously I pirate the movie, you know, like if you could track like a copy of the movie that's floating around to my purchase of it, then sure, block me from having access to it.
I don't even know if this is possible, but I feel like Funimation had plenty of time to figure this out. Sony had plenty of time. They should have figured out a way. Can we migrate our digital library to some other service, at least some sort of consolation? So
I want to know the reason.
Blu-rays don't lose all their anime, you know?
Yeah, I think it would be helpful. And they would. I think they might go not necessarily a long way with their customers, but at least a little bit to explain to people why that's happening, why they're losing access, like what the problem is on the back end that's not allowing them to migrate that data from the Funimation site to the Crunchyroll app. Because if people knew and they were like, "Oh, this is a technical problem. You're working on it, and eventually we'll get it." Because in the press release, like it said, we're working on new great ways to get you the content that you're looking for. It made it very vague as to whether or not they were working to get that stuff over to Crunchyroll, or whether they were indicating that they're just coming up with new stuff. And it's just I think
to me
it's
that
kind of
like
shitty.
PR,
exactly.
PR move to just get everybody to shut up. I don't think they have any actual plans to transfer the digital purchases. You know, it's just them saving face. I don't think that there's any plan for Crunchyroll to allow digital purchases on the platform.
What you can buy, like Crunchyroll has a store though. You can buy things through Crunchyroll.
Yeah, but you buy the Blu-ray and they deliver it to your house.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not the digital copy of the movie, because otherwise they would just transfer those over.
Yeah, it's just I feel like if I understood the reason why it's not possible for them to move that stuff over, that I might have a slightly different feeling about it. Because as it is, I think it's stupid. Like I don't know why.
I think pretty much no matter what, it's stupid. If you buy something, it's yours.
Absolutely. Like, and that's why I say I think Congress is going to have to there's going to be some sort of law where people have the right.
They're gonna have the time to worry about that.
Yeah, like the same thing happened with like when streaming music became like iTunes and all those companies became a thing. DRM became a huge deal to people because they were like, no, I'm buying this song. If I download it, I want to own it. I want to be able to play it on whatever system I want to play it on, whether it's an iPhone or an Android phone or whatever.
They should just be able to give us actually let us download the file.
Yeah.
Like that's what we need to be able to do, is like be able to sure, we can put it on fucking, Movies Anywhere, Vudu, Prime, Apple, whatever. But
hey, I have a better idea. Let's just put it back on physical media.
Well, I mean
that too.
There is that, but at the same time, we have to recognize that the world is changing, technology is evolving, and as our technology shifts, everything is going to change. But that said, I think if you wanted a physical version of it, you should be allowed to download it and put it onto your own physical device so that you have it.
Absolutely.
And it was so rather than them selling you the physical copy, they sell you the digital copy, and you can take that digital copy and put it wherever you want, so that you can retain it and have access to it for as long as you have access to whatever device you put it on.
But the problem with streaming is media companies taking content off their streamers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're a collector or a completionist, now media companies are worried about oversaturating their streaming services, so we're losing content. So how do we preserve content if we can't have the physical media, and then streaming content gets removed?
Right.
Then that's a whole other problem. Now we're dealing with a whole new can of worms.
Well, it's like the Willow show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That never got a physical release, and now it's just gone, and you can't watch it.
We were
anymore,
talking about Star Trek earlier, like
it.
Star Trek moving from platform to platform to platform. Like this was going to be a conversation after the wrestling stuff, but we'll absolutely move this first. This is the section. I need to have someone make a graphic for us for what I'm going to be calling Bitch Fest, which is where we just complain about the kind of shit that we want to complain about that's happening just in our lives or within the industry or whatever. And streaming services removing content from the streaming services is absolutely something that everyone should be bitching about. I get it if they sell the IP to another platform. I understand that. But if it's your content and someone bought it, you should provide a way for them to watch it, regardless of what you're doing with it, which is...
Well, yeah, like if it's an original program to that service, and that's the only way to watch that program, you can't just take it down. That there has to be some sort of legal, that cannot be legal,
Well,
I
think
actors and these writers and directors, they get paid the residuals from that, and that's why they take them down. Is because
it's
so
to
they
save
don't
money.
have to pay the residuals.
Yeah. Well, it's because so Shea and I actually did some research into this during the writers and the actors strike, with how people get paid on streaming services for the IP and whatever the licenses are, because royalties on broadcast television work a little bit differently, because they take advertising revenue and all kinds of other things into consideration when they're figuring out how much people are owed. With the streaming services, let's say Netflix. Netflix purchased the license to show Seinfeld, so they have all the seasons of Seinfeld. They have all the seasons of Suits. They pay an overall fee for the entirety of the show. The amount that they paid for the show is divided by how many episodes of the show there are, and then everyone who worked on the show who is due residuals, which is most of the creative people, the actors, producers, but not like me working as a PA or a media manager or what a gaffer or a best boy or whatever behind the scenes isn't due any residuals, which is kind of bullshit, but at the same time I kind of get it, because to me I'm like, if there's a bunch of people getting residuals for helping to make the show, if I help make the show, I should be getting the same thing.
Josh, you mean you don't get any residuals?
A lot of those people, they have union representation.
I do not.
A lot of those productions have union representation, so they, if that's something they want.
Oh, they could absolutely push for
it. They have to stump for that, and they have to talk to their unions to argue for that.
I completely agree.
Which is coming up for IATSE.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. What
kind of thing coming up for the unions in Hollywood?
What I think for that is because I've been working in the entertainment industry for 14, 15 years now. And when I started as a PA, I was, my first job on a feature, I was working in Georgia and I was making $75 a day. It was horrible. We were working 18, 19-hour days. The movie is fine. I enjoyed my experience on it, but the pay was absolutely atrocious.
But back then they probably still had penny stores or whatever.
Yeah, so. yeah. This was 2010, not 1964. I'm not that old. Getting there. I'm getting there, but not yet. But there was no overtime. It was a flat rate that was getting paid per day. PAs are one of the only positions that work on set that do not have a union that they can join. And they are and Bryce, I'm sure you are familiar with this too, with the stuff that you work on,
Mm-hmm.
where you are, where like we probably have some of the worst jobs on set as PAs.
Dude, sometimes like I don't get paid shit. Like sometimes literally, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
and so yeah. I mean, but I mean, you know, a lot of it is just, you know, this is just what we love to do,
right.
and so sometimes we're just willing to make those sacrifices just to do cool shit. But I do think sometimes a lot of the times the bigger corporation. I'm not talking about like indie stuff, because I have worked on a lot of indie stuff, and it's just like we don't have the money to be able to afford to pay every single person.
Like yeah,
but,
there's passion projects.
like,
There's always exceptions. Yeah, there's always exceptions. Like
Yeah.
like when I have something that I want to
I
film.
just didn't want like somebody I worked with.
Yeah,
to, like,
no,
watch
no,
it
no,
because
no,
I'm
no.
like, hey,
Like, well, like,
because I'm grateful for the
sure,
experience.
but like Bryce, when you move out here, let's say you, me, Shea, Joe, and Jeff, and a bunch of the other people here, we want to do like the 48-hour film festival. You know, that's
Mhm.
it's a competition, and you have 48 hours to write, shoot, edit, and produce a film. No one's gonna get paid for doing that.
Right.
But you know, there's like if you and I were to write something and we were like, hey, we've got a movie that we want to shoot. It's going to take us like 3 weekends to do it. We don't have any money to pay people, but we'll buy lunch. You know, I get that kind of stuff.
And that's the stuff that I've worked on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's fine.
That's
you know,
that's
because
fine.
We're all
Yeah.
just doing it for the art.
Right.
You know?
We acknowledge ahead of time we're doing a friend a favor, or we're doing a favor for someone, or I'm doing this because I want to. I'm not doing this for the money. But
yes.
our jobs that pay rent, we're doing for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where that disparity comes in. Like, times are a lot different now than they were then. Like, most of the PAs that I work with on shows now are making at least minimum wage, if not more. And depending on the kind of project that you're working on, like commercials, music videos, pay more than film and TV usually does.
That's really lame.
Like I worked back in 2012, 2013. I worked on a promotional spot for MLB that shot at the Tampa Bay Rays Stadium.
Cool.
I made like $800 for 2 days of work, where all I did was babysit a camera doing like time lapse. So jobs are out there where you're gonna make a decent wage, but that's not necessarily the norm. And everyone is due the money that they're due. So you know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And that to bring that back to streaming, you know, that's the same thing with them. So I am fully on board with IATSE's strike when that happens. If they go that the SAG-AFTRA and WGA, like anytime they feel like they're not getting what they deserve, I'm fully behind them.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, let's talk about Coyote versus Acme, because that's probably the biggest one that's in the news now. I see Jeff definitely has an opinion on that. I have Bryce, as you and I were talking about last night. I have strong opinions about what's happening with it, but also my feelings about what's going on are mixed between a couple of different like outlooks on how it's happening. But Jeff,
that girl all over.
Yeah, Jeff, can you explain the situation about this?
So there's a movie that's been finished. It's completely finished. It's called Coyote versus Acme. So this is sort of a hybrid live action animated movie. It's about the Looney Tunes Wile E. Coyote is suing the Acme company because he always buys their products to try and catch a roadrunner, and they always backfire on him. So now he's suing the Acme Corporation in a class action lawsuit. Will Forte is his lawyer, sort of this upstart lawyer, you know, underdog lawyer. I think the head of the Acme company is none other than John Cena. So they have this movie. Supposedly it tested well. And Warner Brothers Discovery has apparently made the decision, you know what? We're going to cut the movie and we're going to delete it from existence for a tax write-off, for a tax break, to get that money back when they turn in their taxes at the end of the year or whatever. tax season. And then, so there was a period where we thought the movie might have been rescued because they let the movie get shopped to other companies. And apparently WB had a hard offer. They wanted, I think, 70 to 80 million. And they wouldn't hear any counter offers, even though there was interest from other studios and Netflix to buy the movie. But Warner Brothers Discovery was not listening to any counter offers. Paramount Pictures, according to the Wrap, Paramount Pictures wanted to release this film in theaters. They not only wanted to buy the movie, they wanted to release it in theaters as well. And so now we're right back to where we started with this movie, where they want to destroy it and erase it from existence, and no one will ever see it, except for maybe the people who worked on it might get. I think they'll get to see like a screening or something. But here's my understanding, based on what I've researched. When you destroy a movie to get the tax write-off, you're destroying it to prove to the IRS that you're never going to make money on this. So that's why they destroy the movie. So they would like delete the master file or something like that.
Right. Which while I don't agree, it makes sense. Like I understand
that.
Why the
people asking why can't it go in the public domain, and why do they destroy it? They destroy it because the deal is they can never make money off of this.
Right.
They can never make money off of it again. So you destroy it to prove to the IRS it's gone. It's gone. We're never going to make money off of this again. There's no chance ever. So that's what they're. So to me, this rule should not be allowed. I think it's disgusting. Yeah. I think it's despicable, and I'm vehemently 100% against this. And to me, it's anti-art. It's anti-creativity. I want to see this movie. Was I a fan of Space Jam: A New Legacy? No, I was not. But I mean, that doesn't mean the movie shouldn't get made and shouldn't get released.
Yeah,
there's no reason. There's no reason not to release this movie.
So
capitalism,
right? Yeah. So
and like Josh and I were talking about this,
and I was talking to Shea about this last night too.
One of the writers
so I just looked this up. James Gunn, he co-wrote the story, but he's not the writer of the screenplay.
Oh, okay.
So
but
yeah.
Still, he worked on the film. He's supposed to be their big guy, at Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
and like I haven't heard James Gunn say really anything about this.
Yeah,
at all.
neither have I.
He's not going to. He's not gonna throw his boss under the bus. He's playing the game.
So here's where I am with this, and I understand people are going to disagree with me on part of this at least, but like let me right off the bat, I want to see this movie too. From everything that I've seen, it looks good. It sounds good. John Cena is absolutely fantastic in just about everything that I've seen him in, with the exception of the two movies I mentioned to Shea last night, the Marine and the Marine 2. And some of those earlier things that he may have been forced into working on due to contract stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree. The film should not be, I agree that the film should not be destroyed. That said, everyone's been paid for their work on it. I understand that there's residuals due, and I'm not sure what the contract terms are for when a movie isn't released. I know in the past I've heard that a lot of times the production company or the studio has to pay what they were estimating based off of whatever their estimated revenue at the box office would have been. Anyone who was due residuals or points on the back end would have to get paid whatever those estimations were. So people are being paid for their work. However, again, that said, the movie shouldn't be destroyed. My shitty.
Well, that's also not what this is about. Like,
yeah,
films are meant to be watched.
Right.
And so,
but
so like people want to watch the film.
Absolutely.
It's not really necessarily about people getting paid fairly. That's what the strike was about. And I'm sure that's like also a part of it. But the part of it is just like the film deserves to be watched because people worked hard on it.
And I will get to the art side of it in a second. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on the business. On the business end, it's Warner Brothers movies. They get to decide what they do with it, even if we don't like it. I understand that. Again,
shouldn't have made it in the first place.
I don't like it, but that's That's what happened. So
I mean, they didn't make it to.
No,
they didn't make it just be a tax write-off.
No, they made it because they wanted to release it.
Yeah.
And because they were anticipating it to be good. For whatever reason, they think that they're going to recoup more money from writing it off on their taxes than they would if they released it or sold it.
Here's the thing.
I don't agree with that.
Mean, if they were to release this film now,
there's so much publicity. People would go see it.
There would be so many people to see it just to stick it to the man.
Absolutely.
If they were to release this film, people would go see it.
I completely agree.
Okay.
Well, they also said that about the Snyder Cut, and that didn't really push for anything else to happen after that either.
That was just the Snyder fans that were saying that, though.
I can understand that argument you're making, Josh. The problem is they made him finish the movie's done.
Yeah, so
and not only that, Paramount wants to release it to them, so that means they lose nothing.
Well,
they don't even spend the money on the theatrical release, which can be very expensive.
It depends.
Paramount wants to release it in theaters for them. There's no reason not to release this movie. There's no reason.
I don't know.
They're gonna get all their money back, and someone else wants to pay for the theatrical.
Jeff, I love it,
that's my question then. How much was Paramount going to pay them for the movie? And was what they were going to pay them cover their costs for making it?
It was apparently not what they wanted, and they wouldn't take counteroffers. They had a number, but to me, the number they put out there was arbitrary and an unrealistic number. The Rap Screw trailer did a very good, comprehensive report on this. It was like they didn't want. It was like they put this number out there that no one was gonna bite on. That's basically what they did.
How do we know how much?
I believe it was like somewhere in the range of 80 million.
Okay.
80 million.
Like it was my understanding, it was an unrealistic number that they purposefully.
Wait, sorry. I gotta cut you off for a second, just because this thing is incredibly funny. I don't know why this came up. I think this was through like the auto mod that's on that Twitch has, or through Stream Elements or something. Fast Plant says that it's even crazier that Looney Tunes is one of the biggest legacy properties from WB, if not the biggest, and it's an insane move from Zaslav. I completely and totally agree with that. But the auto mod made me approve his message because of Looney being in the text there, and I was like,
Looney.
Okay.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, but no, I completely agree with all of the arguments about releasing it, but
David Zaslav is the single greatest.
He is absolutely horrible at what he's doing, and he's basically selling off Warner Brothers like piecemeal, like piece by piece, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, here's my other thing.
Yeah.
James Gunn, he's the head of DC Studios. He's trying to revitalize the DC film brand and do a whole big DC film universe, whatever. How can we have faith that he's going to get anywhere with the DC universe when you have a guy like David Zaslav calling the shots and running the show? James Gunn isn't running the show, guys. It's Zaslav.
Yeah.
He has the final say on everything. So how can we trust that James Gunn will be allowed to
we can't really
force his vision, like to create his vision across the DC universe when things like this are going to happen? When you know what, James? No, this doesn't work for me. We're gonna just dump the movie and get the tax write-off. Do something else.
All we know is what James Gunn reveals to us, and we know that James Gunn sometimes stretches the truth a little bit about what is and what isn't happening. I like the guy. I think he does really good work. I thought the Suicide Squad was great. I really enjoyed Peacemaker. Dawn of the Dead was fantastic. His collaboration with Zack Snyder. Scooby-Doo was great. But
I believe they're breeding an environment of anti-art and anti-creativity that could prevent things like Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad or DC's own version of Guardians of the Galaxy happening in the future.
This is my biggest concern with all of this, is with everything like this that's happening, why would anyone agree to work on something at Warner Brothers knowing that this is a direction that things could possibly go in?
Well, I mean, Chris Nolan left.
Yeah,
you know,
he
was their guy.
Chris Nolan left during the pandemic over Tenet. Right?
Tenet, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I completely I as someone obviously who enjoys creating content, but also someone who works in the entertainment industry on the post side and hears a lot of the conversations that go on the back end about finances and costs and all that kind of stuff. I understand the business side of it too, because again, at the end of the day, it is the film business, the film industry. It's their bottom line is making money.
They need to make money to keep making movies,
not making
too,
art. But that said, one of the things that I was going to bring up before was if we look back at Universal Studios and what happened with not with Universal Studios, Warner Brothers, but if we look at what happened with the Exorcist prequel back in the early 2000s, they shot and finished an entire movie, the prequel to The Exorcist. They showed it to a couple of focus groups, and based off of the answers, they were like, you know what, this movie is not gory enough, reshoot it. And they were like, well, reshoot which scenes? And Warner Bros. Was like, all of them. They reshot the entire fucking movie. They released it, and it bombed at the box office. So a couple months later, what did they do? They released the original cut, the original film that they made. That one also bombed at the box office, though. So it's not like these kind of things haven't happened before. I can almost guarantee that if the second version of the Exorcist prequel had actually done really well in the theaters and on home video or whatever, that they never would have released the original cut.
But they did release it.
But they did
release the Paul Schrader cut.
Yeah, but
that was destroy it.
Right, but that was only because they didn't make any money with the first version of it. So I'm pretty sure if they had they'd have done the same thing. It's slightly different situation, but I feel like it's kind of similar.
Netflix did this too, I think, with a Halle Berry movie recently.
Yeah. Like I said, like a sci-fi movie or something. Yeah.
Destroyed for a tax break.
Yeah.
Also, a CG animated Scooby-Doo sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I think the sequel to Scoob, that Paul Dini, co-creator of the DC animated cartoons and Batman the Animated Series, he worked on it. That got, I think, erased, and of course, we all know about the Batgirl thing.
Yeah. So here's my really shitty solution to a really awful problem that's happening. Instead of destroying the films or the TV shows or whatever content it is that they're removing, they should have to turn over the master files to the Library of Congress. The Library of Congress would hold on to it for the duration of the copyright, and once the copyright is up, it would get released into the public domain just like it would if it had actually been released.
All right, everybody. We get.
I am
20 years, baby.
I do think we need some federal oversight. We need something to happen.
I completely agree, because I
think we need intervention, because I don't think we can have a situation where we're having finished, completed works getting erased like this.
Yeah,
and people want to see.
I agree, but again, at the same time, I think it needs to be a solution that solves both issues. It has to solve the writing it off as a tax break, and it has to solve the preserving media thing. They
shouldn't get that. They've done nothing to deserve that tax break. Nothing catastrophic happened. Nothing bad. The movie's finished. It's testing well. They should release the movie. They already agreed to spend the money on the movie. They don't deserve a tax break.
Let me give you a hypothetical, though.
They don't deserve it.
Let me give you a hypothetical.
No.
Let's say the movie was an absolute piece of garbage. Let's say that it was like absolutely horrendous. What was that? What was that Jerry Lewis film? The day the clown cried or something that has never come out because he watched it back. And he was like, no, this is not. No, this is never coming out. So that movie never got finished because he realized that it was a piece of garbage. But let's say that it was that it was testing horribly, and that they could honestly say this movie is a piece of shit. We don't want anyone to see it because it will harm our brand. What is your suggestion for how they handle it then?
You made the decision to greenlight it.
Yep.
You spent the money on it. You finished it. You did it. You got to eat. You got to eat it.
Would you be okay if they didn't delete it, but they just never released it? Because it would still exist, but they would never release it for people to see. Just like countless TV show pilots that have gone that have gone away.
With that either. Wait.
So
I'm about the preservation.
Right. So what you're saying is that you want to force them to spend additional money to release it into the theater or put it up on a streaming service.
Make the movie.
You can.
Right. They did. But
you do not spend money putting it on streaming. Come on.
What
money are you spending if you put it on a streaming?
It takes up streaming service. It's
their service.
It's their they own it.
I don't know. Like honestly, I don't know what the good answer is. I don't know that I agree with you about that
look, I'm talking about something that's finished and done. I'm not talking about to me there are extenuating circumstances. If something catastrophic happened, if something bad happened, to me that's what the insurance or tax loop
right. But
not for a finished movie.
Right, but what I'm saying is, so if you made a movie and you were like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, I don't know why I made this. This is horrible. I don't want anyone to ever look at this.
It's going to ruin your reputation.
It's going to ruin my reputation. I don't want to release this.
That's
too
what
bad.
Alan Smith
Make a better movie. Like that's my point of view. Like,
but that could ruin your career. Like, look at how many people have.
You should have done a better job making the movie.
1941 didn't ruin Spielberg's career. He's doing okay.
But wait,
what movie?
But he also made a lot of good movies too before that.
That movie's great. All those movies are great.
But look at how many people's career, like movie career, has been not necessarily destroyed, but not gone well because they were in really bad films. Like it happens.
It's just.
To me, that's a separate. That's a separate argument. It's a separate discussion. John.
Well, no, but
I want Coyote versus Acme.
Yes, I do too.
Brothers, if you destroy this movie,
he will destroy you.
It's unforgivable if you destroy this movie.
To be honest, I had no idea about this movie until people made a stink about it. So whether they release it or not, it doesn't matter.
I think well that's the problem.
You would have known about it unless if people weren't talking about it.
I knew about the movie before they were trying to.
I knew about it too because James Gunn was on it. So
what's the reason why you guys know about it though?
Because James Gunn was
before.
I check in on
the general public doesn't care.
I was like,
we care. The general public doesn't care.
I mean, the general public that keeps up with entertainment news and watches shows like ours, like Fast Plant. I'm sure he cares about it. He knows about it. He may have knew about it before this controversy came out.
Well, this movie getting made was pretty public. It wasn't like a closely guarded secret.
Like I feel like we're going to have to start a section on the show that's things that the general public knows about that Shea does not.
Right.
Like I feel like that. I feel like that's going to become a thing.
Because it's Looney Tunes. It's their Mickey Mouse. Like.
Well, because this was the first big
franchise.
Space Jam was a Looney Tunes movie, but it was also just a Warner Brothers overall kind of movie. I feel like Coyote versus Acme was going to be like Looney Tunes Back in Action, or what was the one that was before that? Whatever.
I thought that was
Space Jam.
What
Space Jam?
Maybe.
I thought came before. Space Jam. 2003 was Back in Action, and then a couple years ago was Space Jam 2.
Yeah. So maybe I'm just thinking of Back in Action because that was the one with Brendan Fraser, right? Yeah. So I mean,
look, that movie bombed, but now like people are coming around on that movie.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
I know what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the Bullwinkle. The Rocky and Bullwinkle. What's her name?
About to make a
Piper Perabo was in that one, I think.
Yeah.
Piper Perabo.
Yeah.
And Robert De Niro's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm saying, like, sometimes it can take decades for a movie to
Exactly.
find an audience.
Yes.
Blade
yeah.
Runner flopped. Blade Runner flopped when it was released, and not only flopped, it got terrible reviews. But now that movie is like a beacon for cyberpunk media. It's a highly influential, beloved, acclaimed classic that took about 10 years for people. This movie, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cutting edge, and it's kind of ahead of its time. And now it's the defining piece of cyberpunk, of the cyberpunk subgenre.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about Clue because I made a fan cast thing for it. Clue is another one where when it was in the theaters, it did not well. But when it was released on home video, people ate that shit up. It's become a cult classic. It's like
Exactly.
Rocky Horror Picture.
We're right,
Rocky
you're
Horror Picture
wrong.
Show is another one.
What
No,
movie?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with anything that you guys are saying. All I'm saying is that I understand where the studios are coming from, even if I disagree with them, especially with this specific movie. But that something does need to be done to prevent movies from being deleted, because it's not right, and it is not something that should be happening.
I disagree. Anyone who would call David Zaslav a shrewd businessman, if you look at the stock price of Warner Brothers Discovery right now, he looks like exactly the opposite of a shrewd businessman.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, the same thing is happening over at Disney with under Bob Iger. Like Disney is like, hopefully Disney will get their shit together, but they're not in a great position right now either.
It went like shooting up. But
Deflection.
Wait, when what came out?
When the Fortnite news came out, it went shooting up.
Yeah, of course it did. Fast Plant in the chat saying he says it's different when it comes to independent films where the crew is all in support for never releasing it, and a huge scale project from a studio with a huge amount of people involved. And that's why I think it's something that needs to be decided on a case by case basis for whether or not they release it. But I don't think any content, with rare and few exceptions, should ever be destroyed. Like I will caveat.
Don't you do it, Zaslav.
I will caveat that there
don't
are some
David.
really horrible things that I can think of that would make something in that camp, but I can't see them being at any time being like normal things happening. So yeah,
Now, what if the director and writers on the film didn't want to release it either?
Too bad. I mean, you made it already.
They made it.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's been made. They're not the only.
Okay, if a writer of a book,
of people who work on these films.
If a writer of a book were to write a novel and then after they finished it said they weren't happy with it and they didn't want to release it, do they have to release it?
That's up to the publisher. If they signed a contract with the publisher.
An author of a book, if one person with films,
if they turned it into the publisher, that's not. It's kind of.
What if they didn't?
Well, then they never got that far.
Sure, they're breaching a contract.
If they breach their contract, then there are terms in the contract that state what happens if they breach it. Chances are they're going to have to repay the money, and they may have to pay some sort of a penalty for not turning it over.
But that's like not at all the same thing.
Yeah, no, that almost gets into the territory of what's happening with Gina Carano right now with her lawsuit against Disney because of getting fired from The Mandalorian. Which is just a whole and like that's a contract dispute. That's not like a First Amendment issue that she's dealing with. The whole thing is just stupid. I don't think she has a case. I think it's going to go away. But
I can't wait to see how much money Elon Musk wastes on that.
Right, both of those, like and again, that's why I think things need to be taken into consideration on a case by case scenario where there may be a common and normal response for how 99% of these types of issues are resolved, with 1% being the outliers and having to be resolved in a different way. But again, I agree, none of this content should ever be destroyed outside of super rare, super like out there instances of other things.
They shouldn't even destroy the holiday special for Star Wars.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point.
Something before we get into wrestling, something else that I wanted to bitch about. Shea, I'm sure is going to bitch about this with me. You guys go grocery shopping, right? Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you go shopping, you look for things that are on sale, right?
Well, usually I just buy the same things over and over and over again, but I mean, yeah,
But
I guess, yeah.
If there's things that you buy on a normal basis or a semi-regular basis, you're like say you're buying potato chips or like chips of some kind. You're like, oh, Doritos are $2.99 each if you buy 5.
Well,
if you don't buy 5, they're like $6 or $5 or whatever for a bag. So if I only want 2 bags of Doritos, I have to spend $10. I have to get 5 to get them at the sale price.
right.
Just the stupidest thing ever.
Like
I don't need
Costco,
5. Yeah. Like I see that with Doritos all the time. I see that with like cream cheese when I buy bagels or a salad dressing or tons of other shit that they have at the grocery store. I'm like, I don't have space for 5 tubs of cream cheese, and I'm not going to use this in the 2 or 3 weeks before it goes bad.
Yeah.
Why can't I just get this for the $2.50?
Yeah,
It's
that's a whole
stupid.
discussion.
Yeah.
Well, Target used to do the thing where it was like buy 2 for $7 or each for $3.50. But now they don't even do that.
Yeah,
I thought you were
now
gonna
it's
like,
just
like media or something.
No.
Now it's just like,
this
here.
is just me complaining about shit that I want to complain about.
That's okay. Yeah, let's talk about it.
I mean
I love it.
that's all I had. I just wanted to bitch.
Yeah, no,
I just wanted to vent and
really
get that off
annoying.
get it off my chest because it's a stupid thing. And Ralph's, if anyone is watching, stop that shit.
It's
you know,
Kroger,
Yeah.
or
A Safeway
capitalism,
or whatever. Yeah.
corporate companies. Stop your bullshit.
Well, it's like
Stop being
I go
greedy.
to this like movie store where I buy like all my Blu-rays and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, if you buy like 5 films, like you can get 1 for free. I'm like, okay, but what if I want like 1? Like,
Right.
like 2?
But I feel like
And that's where I go. I
That's-
could just torrent them.
that's a little bit different though because it's buy 5 and get 1 for free. Like you're still spending the money that you would spend on the 5 movies. You're just getting an additional 1 for free if you buy that many.
I guess so.
I should start asking Best Buy when I go to buy physical media, like $30
they'll sell it.
Blu-ray. I'll be like, hey, I could go torrent this exact Blu-ray for free, so give this to me for like 15 instead of 30, and see if they'll
But you can't
negotiate.
even walk in there. They don't sell movies in there anymore. They got rid of them all.
Yeah,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
also stupid. And like I don't. Like I said at the beginning at the beginning
Nobody
of the
was
show,
buying them, I guess.
I understand moving away from the type of physical media that we currently have, but we need to come up with a solution so that things can't just be taken away on a whim like they are when things get removed from these streaming services. Because the government can't mandate that Vudu stays in business. If Vudu says
if Vudu goes under, Vudu goes under.
If Vudu says, you know what, we can't afford to pay people anymore, we can't afford to keep the servers up, they're going to go down. And if
I mean, look what happened. Fandango got shut down, and all that merged over to Vudu.
Yeah.
And if Vudu shuts down, where's that go to? Like eventually they're going to run out.
Yeah. Oh man, Fast Plan says let's bring back Laserdisc.
Laserdiscs are cool.
They are.
Bro, you weren't even alive when Laserdisc came out.
Okay, so they're cool. I can still see that. I know what they are.
So
Laserdisc are cool.
There was a very short period of time where I wanted to collect Laserdiscs.
Vinyl.
And then I picked one up. And Laserdiscs are fucking heavy.
They're fucking heavy.
They are so heavy. And vinyl, like
I have vinyl. I wasn't alive whenever vinyl was created.
I have.
But they're still making vinyl records.
They are. And usually those are collectors' things, though. Like special editions of things.
No one wants to collect a 20-pound Laserdisc.
I kind of do. If I find one that's a good price, I'll buy one.
It's so heavy.
I have a small collection of vinyl. But when my uncle passed away, he had a pretty big collection, and I wanted to take the vinyl that he had. There was absolutely no. It wasn't like a big collection. It was like a small, like almost like a short box. It was like a short box of comics size with records in it. It would have cost me like $1,000 to have that shipped from Philadelphia out here to LA.
Jeez.
Because it was like 100 pounds. Like it like just for like maybe 50 or 60 like records. It was insane. There was no way that was going to happen. So that all went away. But I have a few things now. Like most of the vinyl that I have now I got from Mondo because of the art on the packaging. Larry's back in the chat, and he's a laser. He says something about big ass laser discs. I don't know if that means that he's a laser disc guy, or if he's just commenting that laser discs are big.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, so let's move on to wrestling. The whole reason we brought Jeff in here in the first place.
Here we go.
I know there's been some big news this week.
So we had a couple days ago. We had the WrestleMania XL, WrestleMania 40. They held it in Las Vegas because the Super Bowl's in Vegas this week.
Yeah.
So Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is back in WWE. So this is on top of him just being named
Pipe bomb number 2.
the new board member of TKO, which is WWE's new parent company of the merged WWE and UFC.
Watch, that's all the work too.
So we thought they were gonna do The Rock versus Roman Reigns. The Rock even went on Pat McAfee's ESPN show and said he's coming back to wrestle, and he's been training to wrestle again. It looked like that was happening, and there were rumors that he was going to wrestle Roman Reigns, but after Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble, people were like naturally gravitating to Cody Rhodes because he has this whole journey about finishing the story and winning the one title his dad, Dusty Rhodes, never did, which is the title held by Roman Reigns. So people kind of rejected The Rock. And at the press conference 2 days ago, Cody Rhodes said, "You know what? I'm gonna wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania." And then he said something about The Rock's grandfather, the late Peter Maivia, and The Rock slapped Cody. So now they're doing this whole kind of storyline where The Rock, I guess, is a bad guy again, and he's going against Cody Rhodes. And I guess now we're doing Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 in April. But this month they're doing Elimination Chamber in Australia. That's
really big. So Jeff, you sent me this poster image, middle of the screen now, the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes WrestleMania thing. So is this still accurate, or is this not accurate anymore?
That was after the press conference. So as of now, it's accurate. And Triple H, who's the chief content officer of WWE, said it again last night on SmackDown. So as far as we know, this is the WrestleMania, probably going to be the night 2 main event. So I guess rematch from WrestleMania 39. Which, to tie all this in, back at Comic-Con, I cut a promo on Cody Rhodes, and I told him.
I saw that. That was so amazing. Do you have a link to that?
Yeah, I'll send.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've never seen this. Cool. But I honestly, I really like how they turned all this around. I definitely don't think any of this was intentional. But I love the idea of Rock turning heel because the audience rejected him anyway. So people were going to be booing him no matter what. So yeah,
I just don't understand why people rejected something that was never said before it was even said.
I mean, it was pretty freaking heavily implied.
Where did no one at any point said that The Rock and Roman Reigns were going to be facing each other?
He literally told Roman last week on SmackDown that he wasn't going to fight him at WrestleMania.
And that's what pissed people off.
But that doesn't mean that Rock and Roman were going to be fighting at WrestleMania either.
Because Cody won the Rumble, so Cody had a clear path to Roman Reigns. So if you didn't want Cody, none of this made any sense. And it feels like they did pivot here, but I don't know where they pivoted. And because if they were trying to make Cody a bigger, more sympathetic, good guy for the fans, like his actions don't make any sense. So I don't know, but it feels like they did
the pivot.
WWE was
the pivot was
him against Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. Like they released like official posters.
No, they never did. It wasn't even on the WWE webpage. They never announced it, and that was the funny thing. WWE was very specific. They did not. They very specifically.
They had it on TV.
They did it. They did it.
Raw. Yes, they did. They had a graphic with him up against Roman Reigns.
But they still never announced the matchup. They never said that they were going to be facing each other.
They heavily implied that they were going to do it.
Until they said it, which they never did. People were tripping out.
I'm not saying they said it explicitly, Rock is going to fight Roman Reigns, but it was very clear that that's where they were originally heading.
Yeah, but the thing was, even if they were to face each other at WrestleMania, it's still not for the undisputed title, which is the more important thing. Where it's at, when it's at, doesn't matter. It's what it's for. That's the more important part. Story-wise, sure, whatever.
Shea, there's not enough information. Like the information that's out there, that's on the wrestling websites. It's very fragmented, and to me, some of it's very speculative. So we don't really.
Oh well, all it is speculative.
Okay, but there were rumors suggesting that the plan was to book Roman Reigns versus The Rock as the main event of WrestleMania, which is understandable because that's a fantasy dream match. But then it begs the question: why did you have Cody Rhodes win the Royal Rumble? Because winning the Rumble means you get a title shot at WrestleMania, traditionally. So if they wanted to, it feels like WWE put themselves in a corner here by having Cody win that matchup, the Rumble, and then saying, you know what, I'm not going to fight Roman Reigns. So I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
I really think what happened was the Punk injury. I think the Punk injury really threw things off. Cody was still supposed to win Royal Rumble.
Seth Rollins, though.
Well, yeah, that would have gone in through Elimination Chamber. But because Punk can't be in Elimination Chamber, it threw that whole aspect off through. So then it's like, okay, what do we do with Seth Rollins? He's kind of getting thrown into a mix here between Rock, Roman, and Cody. You know, he keeps on jumping in there and throwing in well, what about me? What about me? There's going to be something that happens with Rollins. And it's obviously the match will end up being...
this week on, going back to this week, on SmackDown last night, they set up the Elimination Chamber. So the Elimination Chamber will determine Seth Rollins' opponent at WrestleMania.
Yeah. But I think it's more long-term storytelling. They're still good. They're trying to set up with Rollins and the rest of them down the road.
This whole thing with Roman Reigns and The Rock has only made Seth Rollins look bad because they're constantly they're verbally burying Seth Rollins and his World Heavyweight title on TV constantly.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point is to make him look bad so that he can try and elevate himself out of whatever shit talking is going on.
They're still calling Roman Reigns the undisputed champion. And they only started Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight title after Roman Reigns pretty much beat everyone. And after WrestleMania, he unified
and took all the belts
and unified him. And no one ever beat him. So then they started a new world title, and basically everything Roman Reigns says on TV to bury the title, whether this is storyline or not, it's all basically true in storyline. It's a loser title. It's the loser consolation prize title. So doesn't even want it. If I'm Cody, I would not want that title. I want Roman Reigns' title. If I'm any contender, I want to fight Roman Reigns because he has the undisputed title, and that's the only title that matters.
The one reason why I could say having that Universal title is not that great. That's one ugly belt compared to the other one. That one's so generic and so just like, this is the most corporatized belt I've ever seen. Yeah. It's so plain and generic.
Why Cody Rhodes didn't challenge Logan Paul for the U.S. title.
Okay.
Because no one cares about the U.S. title.
I've got Jeff's video. I'm not sure if this is going to play correctly. So we'll see. If not, I'll figure out another way to get it on the screen.
That's a shortened version that Kevin gave me.
Cool. Let's see.
So do you think that moment where you won the ESPY, you're going to go to WrestleMania and you're going to get a shot at that world title. But is that going to be as great as the moment when Roman Reigns beats you at WrestleMania?
Oh!
Because he is the tribal chief. He is the tribal chief. He is the one. And you are the twos.
He's representing the bloodline.
We went rogue. Comic-Con has gone rogue.
All right, so that was it. It was kind of short, but Bryce is listening to it now because I couldn't get it up on the call with us right away. But that was hilarious.
That was the Comic-Con in 2022.
I loved his response to you too, or just like his reaction. It was great.
Yeah, so there's actually a little bit more there, but that's like you can, if you go to YouTube and you go WWE Mattel SDCC 2022, you can watch the whole thing and how I set it up. So I don't know. I feel like I've inadvertently cursed Cody Rhodes because I spoiled his WrestleMania 39. And I mean, what if it happens again this year? I might be the cause of all the grief in Cody's career.
Well, and see that's the interesting thing about wrestling that I think a lot of people don't get is that, and I see this a lot in comments, is like most people who watch wrestling know that it's completely a story.
Yeah.
It's all entertainment. It's just a show. There was a time where they really pushed for this kayfabe thing, which is the wrestling term for like, oh yeah, it's real, but it's, we know it's not real. They're acting. But like keep it within the story and stuff like that. And the excitement is just the same as any other TV show where you're wondering what's going to happen.
I just saw
and stuff.
I just saw on Twitter, going back to the Coyote versus Acme discussion, just for a brief second. Eric Golden, he's an entertainment journalist. He worked at IGN for a really long time. He was at Fandom until just recently. He just quote tweeted an account that is reporting that South by Southwest originally wanted to screen Coyote versus Acme, but Warner Brothers refused. So his reply to that is David Zaslav instead offered to send a video where he defecates on a print of the film. As he says, "I've always loved movies to the camera." That sounds about accurate.
What?
Oh man.
You said South by Southwest. I thought North by Northwest.
Different movie. Although I would watch a Looney Tunes version of North by Northwest with Elmer Fudd in the Cary Grant role. Like, that'd be great. Just saying.
But anyways,
back to
wrestling. I completely lost what I was saying.
You're talking about kayfabe and storyline. Is where you left off.
I don't remember.
But I think just to what you were saying, Shea, I feel like they are doing that a little bit because there was at the press conference, there was this thing where they went backstage where
with Triple H
Rock,
and
where the Rock was subtly acknowledging that he has a board executive seat with the company now, and trying to throw his weight around with Triple H. So, and then I feel like they acknowledged it on SmackDown last night too, where they are trying to.
Yeah, they did.
They're trying.
Oh
to
yes.
Triple H is literally like, I'm the guy,
Yeah, they're kayfabing a power struggle.
Isn't that kind of what happened with The Rock over at WB too? Like, isn't that why we got the Superman cameo at the end of Black Adam?
Right. Now, again, I don't know. That's true. I don't know how true any of this is, but a couple weeks ago, PWI Insider had a report that kind of hinted that there could be a power struggle coming in WWE with The Rock and his people and Triple H, because now this is kind of, there's a whole other issue at work here, because WWE, on top of this being WrestleMania season, they're facing a huge, and this is not in a storyline, they're facing a huge real life scandal right now with Vince McMahon, their former owner and chairman, who was just ousted from the company. He retired, but he was ousted over allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking from a former employee that he was definitely having an affair with.
And
So
Brock Lesnar was involved in
And
this
this was
too,
only
right?
he was not in the lawsuit. He was not named in the lawsuit, but he was linked to the lawsuit basically.
Because I saw, I think recently that he was removed from like the cover art for the WWE 2K24.
We're never we are very likely never going to see Lesnar again. At the very least, we're not going to see him for the foreseeable future. So, but what I'm getting at there is WWE and TKO, the new owners, Ari Emanuel, the new people on top, President Nick Khan, they are trying to stay clear of things like that. And one of the rumors was that WWE is willing to get rid of all the old Vince McMahon people. And what PWI Insider reported is they could put in a Rock like regime. And one of the people who was working with The Rock now that he's back is Brian Gewirtz, who works with The Rock at $7 Production, his production company, and used to be one of WWE's top writers. So he's kind of back and helping him with his WWE material now. So I feel like they're kind of kayfabing that there could be a power struggle on TV between The Rock and Triple H. And again, I don't even know how true it is that there could be a power struggle between The Rock and Triple H. I don't know, but like,
honestly, I highly doubt it. I would think they're more concerned about making sure getting this Vince thing pushed away from them.
Realistically, Shea, Triple H's job is not safe because this lawsuit is just the tip of the iceberg, and they've already revealed pretty horrendous text messages. And if anything else comes out, if more people get named, they will be gone. It won't just be Brock Lesnar. Like, Brock Lesnar was not even named in the lawsuit, and he's gone. So think about that. If they name anyone else associated with this, they could be gone next. And I'm not saying Triple H is, but if his name were to come up or come out with this, we might never see him again. So I'm just saying, this is something unrelated to Road to WrestleMania. This is something that we have to keep an eye on because it could get a lot worse. It could get a lot worse.
Do you think they're going to try and get out ahead of this now, and we may see people being let go without knowing why necessarily?
We haven't yet.
There is one person that got let go. I didn't look into why.
Right.
Kevin Dunn,
the SmackDown announcer.
Yeah, the SmackDown announcer.
I forget his name.
This is just speculation on my part.
And he was let go like only like a day before, and for no reason either. And then Pat McAfee also just pops up and is now taking over.
The production director, Kevin Dunn, who was a longtime worker.
Yeah.
He quit the company because he apparently didn't like TKO and only wanted to work for Vince McMahon. I don't know. I don't know if this is why. So, but let me just say it wouldn't surprise me if some of what's coming out now is one of the reasons Kevin Dunn left, but I have no idea. I'm just saying if what we've heard in the last couple weeks is bad enough that we're never going to see Brock Lesnar again for who knows, maybe never again. If anyone else similar, like gets similarly named like that, that could be very bad, and TKO will erase them from existence and make them disappear. Just because that will be how they try to get ahead of this or try to deal with this. And look, there's no getting around this. It's what is being alleged is absolutely horrible.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, I've heard some of.
I'm not saying you shouldn't be a wrestling fan or shouldn't be a WWE fan, but it's a messed up situation.
And I'm just gonna go on the record here and say that unlike some of the other content that we were talking about that should not be deleted, if video content of this exists, I hope that I never see it. Like I like the what I've heard happens. I will pass. Hard pass.
All we have to do is just stay off the internet, people, and we'll be a lot better for it.
I mean the lawsuit is public. I mean it's public, and I don't know. I hope WWE is taking it seriously, and just because
it seems like they are.
My issue is that I feel like they were a bit too cavalier in how they let Vince McMahon back into this whole thing. I mean, I get that he was a controlling shareholder, and that, you know, he was the one who was in the way of any potential sales or media rights. Like, I understand all that, but I feel like, because this story first came out in 2022 is when we first started hearing about this.
It's just the same girl that
Yeah.
was a part of that one.
Yeah, because that's when the Wall Street Journal first reported on it, and we didn't really, I guess, know the full extent of the allegations until now.
Well, weren't
That's
Triple
kind
H
of
and
what's
Stephanie
been coming out in
McMahon
the
trying
last
to get him out all the way back then, whenever it originally came out?
Well, he was forced to resign back then in 2022, basically. But then the WWE board of directors denied him coming back twice. But then he basically, due to the way he had controlling ownership of the company, he was able to force his way back in. Is basically what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a weird. I mean, you know, that's business corporate world.
Now he does
capitalism.
Nothing for the
Yeah.
company.
What was
okay.
that?
So we are, like, obviously we started a little bit late today, so we're running a little bit behind with where we were supposed to be. Before we move on from wrestling,
But still damn good, Josh. Great
Thank
job.
you. Before we move on from wrestling, Jeff, Shea, Bryce, since you guys are the ones that know about this and I don't, is there anything else big within the world of wrestling that we haven't discussed yet that you think is worthy of discussion?
That's kind of the biggest.
I mean, those are like the big things. I mean, there's always like indie stuff to talk about. That's always happening, but that doesn't produce a type of story.
WWE Raw. I mean, this happened a couple weeks ago, but WWE Raw is going to Netflix in 2025.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 3 hours commercial free, by the way, too.
Right. So this is a huge deal. This is like the foreseeable future of WWE content. So it's a 10-year deal, $5 billion. Netflix can opt out after 5 years if it's not looking good, or after 10 years, they have an option to renew. So that's a pretty sweet deal if you're TKO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are leaving Fox with SmackDown. SmackDown is going to USA Network. NXT is going to the CW. And then Raw is going to Netflix, which I mean, it'll be interesting because we've never seen a weekly live WWE show exclusively on streaming like this. So
this seems like it's a pretty big deal for Netflix, because
more
like,
so for CPO, but
I'm not really into wrestling.
Because Netflix has not really done live streaming sports.
Yeah,
live streaming or live sports or live anything.
They've had a couple of live things, I want to say.
Yeah, they had but not
they continuously.
That Blind Love. They had the Blind Love thing.
But for a company that probably needs to work on getting more content in front of more faces in order to recruit new subscribers, like, this seems like it's a pretty good get for them.
Yeah, because I mean, what's weird is that Peacock, what was the WWE network, is all basically on Peacock now. So Peacock has had all of the WWE premium live events on their thing, and I think they get all their weekly shows after they do the live broadcast.
It's like a few weeks later, but yeah.
Right. So I think Netflix is also going to get a lot of their other content in other regions. I think Raw
makes sense.
For like the US. So this is a big deal for Netflix because they haven't done much live streaming weekly content. So that'll be interesting to see. But
it is going to make it a little bit more expensive to watch Raw than it is now, because now you only need a Well,
Like, I'm not a big
cable,
fan of Peacock,
like-
but I get Peacock for $3 a month right now.
Peacock's
so.
UI, like, God, this is another fucking complaint. Streaming services, you like user interfaces, like a lot of them are garbage, like just absolutely, completely atrocious.
What's weird is
and
that
they're all garbage
Yeah.
for different reasons
the
on different
WWE
platforms.
Network started 10 years ago, and it's weird to me how like the WWE Network had a better, more user-friendly UI than a lot
shit.
of what
Sorry,
streamers are doing now. with
Larry,
their
Larry
new
just
one.
sent me Larry just sent me a logo for the show that looks fucking amazing. I'm gonna drop this on the screen. Sorry, continue talking.
Sneak preview.
But yeah, I'll be curious to see how this pans out for Netflix and WWE, because I think what the future is, I think eventually they're going to migrate off Peacock, and I think they'll probably put a lot of most of, if not a huge chunk of their content and library on Netflix, because I think what you mentioned earlier, Josh, is to tie this all together. It's kind of streaming media is the direction we're going. So I think that's what WWE is going to be pursuing.
Yeah, I think this is the start of like the cable killer. Like because really the only reason to keep cable was sports. You know, and then if this is a huge success for WWE, then all the other leagues are going to be coming in.
And Disney,
there's an argument for cable to have a resurgence.
Like
I mean, it pretty much already is. Like
that streaming, they're doing that bundled streaming thing. Announcement.
Yeah. So that was news. Like that's a great segue into the news section that we got here. It's let me pull this up. Sorry, I've got like 17 windows open.
But I think that's the direction we're moving, and I think this Netflix deal for WWE is going to be like the first of a major shift of sports rights for wrestling, for major like media entertainment things like WWE. I think that's what we're going to be seeing for the shift in the future. Will be those streaming platforms and major content deals where we're going to be getting all of our live weekly content that way, probably.
Until everyone's tired of getting it on different platforms and all in one place, and we have cable again.
That's where it's going to kind of go. So I cut cable back in, I want to say it was like 2016, and instead of cable, we got Hulu Live TV. It was half the price.
Which is kind of just cable. But.
Yeah, it more or less is. But
now we're just getting the feed.
We cut just the subscription to a regular cable service. We kept the internet and used Hulu for live television.
Which at the time they were cheaper.
From Hulu, we moved over to YouTube TV because YouTube TV had a few channels that Hulu Live didn't, and I like the interface a little bit better, and I was able to share it a lot easier with the people who I lived with and may not live with too. But it's getting to the point now where between all of the streaming services and that, we're paying basically the same thing that we were for cable in the first place. And now, again, like back to what Jeff was talking about, Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Disney, or Fox, Warner Brothers Discovery, and Disney are launching a new streaming joint venture that's going to combine all of their sports assets into a standalone app. And that's going to include ESPN, TNT, and Fox Sports. So that's kind of turning into what Hulu used to be when it was split between Fox and Disney, and I want to say Paramount or CBS. I think Viacom owned a piece. Comcast owned a piece of it. Now they're doing the same thing, but it's just sports.
They're all going to be housed under the same thing at one point again. And sooner or later.
We're just going
to be like, I'm spending $150 for my cable package.
Again, my shitty solution to this, which I was talking about with Shea last night, is I think we're going to see some of these streaming companies move in the direction, like at least with like things like Paramount, maybe Warner Brothers, some of the companies that are like content mills of their own. I think we're going to see them, instead of having their own streaming app, they're going to be offering API access to their databases, and companies like Amazon and Hulu and Netflix and others will just be licensing the rights to access their database, and you will get streaming services based off of the user interface and other content that you're able to get through them, rather than having to get 15 different services.
what I could see them doing is like something kind of like what Shea's doing. Is like it's all just gonna come back together anyway. But I really love Prime Video and how you can just buy like the other channels and just so like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to buy Max, but I don't want to have to use another app.
There's a problem with that.
So
though.
Yeah.
Well, what's your problem?
Well, the problem with that is if that purchase or that subscription that you get through Amazon for some reason doesn't support 4K or whatever.
So that I mean that is an issue. Yeah.
Even though you're paying for it.
So that's the thing that I'm dealing with right now. So I had Paramount Plus through my T-Mobile account for free for a year. First though, Larry's logo is on the screen now. So if you pop over to the Twitch feed, you'll see it.
It's actually really cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Thank you very much, Larry. We appreciate this.
Larry.
This is great, and we look forward to having you on the show when you're able to actually make it. But I had Paramount, or I have Paramount Plus through T-Mobile until Valentine's Day. That's the last day that my subscription through them is free. So now I can either renew it for them for like $10 a month or $11 a month or whatever it is, or I can go back to getting it directly through Paramount Plus. The Paramount Plus app for both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox does not support the 4K footage. You can only get that through like an Apple TV or an Android TV device or a TV that has that built in. So what I'm trying to figure out is if I get Paramount Plus through either YouTube or Amazon Prime, if I get access to the 4K content through that connection. If it is, then it's worth it for me to get it through YouTube TV or Amazon Prime rather than directly through Paramount Plus. But none of them make this easy to figure any of that shit out. So I'm gonna have to get a free trial of it through YouTube, and then I'm gonna have to get a free trial of it through Amazon to see which one works better. It's stupid. I understand why everything is going in this direction, but it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't see it not being a pain in the ass for at least a few years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But also speaking of TVs that have features and apps and shit that you can download, Shea, I'm gonna let you take this one because this is something that you actually signed up for. I had found a company called Telly that is offering a free, was that a 55-inch TV?
Whoa!
Yeah, it's a 55-inch TV with a second screen that basically pays for you to have the TV for free. That second screen is this 55-inch, not 55-inch, but it's the length of the 55-inch screen that goes at the bottom that has all your advertising, marketing, everything and stuff like that down there. News, RSS feeds, weather, little ads that has a QR code that pops up. You can scan it and order directly through it and things like that. That pays for the TV as long as you have that going, and you let them basically collect your streaming habits or viewing habits, just like basically like the Nielsen boxes and stuff. You get it for free. Comes with a Harman Kardon like soundbar attached to it and everything and stuff. And usually those TVs are the company's actually
It was
the guy who started
Pluto
the Telly
TV guy,
company.
right?
Tubi,
Pluto TV, yeah.
Or Pluto TV, yeah. He was one of the people who started Pluto TV. So there is a it's continuing on the trend of using of free television, accessible free television through the use of advertising, like we basically used to do back in the day. Network television is all free.
I mean, you still had to buy the TV.
But now it's actually putting the devices into the people's houses, though. So
now I know there's probably
yeah,
people that have like privacy concerns with this thing being always on while you're watching TV. Is there a camera or anything like on there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is a camera. It does have a cover that it places over the camera. But what's great about the camera, it can be used just like the Xbox Connect or whatever. It has at-home workout programs and things like that utilizes motion tracking and stuff.
Is the camera watching
so that it can? Well, yeah. I mean, it pulls
only when
it
you're
motion
using
tracks
it.
like
Only
your
when you're
movement
using
when working out. Yeah, only when you're using
you
it.
just said
Only
you
when
could
you're using
cover
it.
it.
How do we know they're
Cover
not
for it?
spying on us?
Well, they are.
I mean, you could cover it. You could cover it. Yeah, I mean they are, but it's
It-
voluntary.
this whole thing was also kind of funny to me because like back like before I went back to college, I was working at Time Warner Cable as a tech support person, and I can't tell you how many people called in bitching at me that they had heard from a friend or on like Facebook or something that cable companies put cameras into the cable boxes, like their set-top boxes, and watched you as you were watching TV. And I had to convince everyone, no, there's no camera in there. We're not spying on you. I don't want to watch you sitting in your underwear watching Golden Girls on repeat. Like it's no. But now there is a camera in your TV.
I mean, in all honesty, if I'm just sitting here and people want to watch me, I mean, it's no different than what we're doing right now.
TV,
but
I mean, watch me do whatever.
Shit, you want to see stuff I do in my room? Fine, why not? Who cares?
Do you know if with all the features and everything that it has, if it ties into like home automation type stuff, like if it'll tie into your Amazon Alexa or Google Home or any of that kind of stuff, so you can control it?
That's a good question. That's a couple. That's some of the things that like I haven't really been able to find a lot of information on. The actual home network connectivity aspect of it. I don't see why not, because it's just a TV with just this extra screen. That the extra screen is the part that's actually pulling all the data.
Yeah.
So and connecting
you
to
can.
the internet.
Here's what we're gonna do.
So
You're gonna get one. You're gonna be our little game pad.
But he signed up for it.
Oh, he signed up for it.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I've been waiting since last summer. I know they started rolling them out last summer, and they went out to over about 1 million houses, and they're looking to do 2 to 3 million this year. So yeah, just waiting for whatever wave. Yeah, just waiting for whatever wave I got into to see.
Now you also said before, I don't remember who it was, that there were 1 or 2 companies that they thought manufactured the TV.
Given that, like it says, I mean, already the sound bar is a Harman Kardon,
which is a pretty good company
sound system, which is pretty good. And I'm assuming they want TVs that are going to last, because they want people to keep these TVs within the home so they can continue the program.
Well, and then they also send them like another TV, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it just makes sense that it would be a decent quality TV somewhere. Most likely, it could be anywhere to LG or Samsung, most likely, because those I see those pop up in these in like the Best Buy TVs and stuff. So insignia brands usually pull Samsung, LG for their screens.
You said that if you decided that you didn't like the system and you wanted to opt out of it, your choices were to either return the TV or you could pay $550 and keep it. And
it's a $550 fee to keep it. Yeah, which I mean, $550 for a 55-inch TV
and the soundbar.
That is, and the soundbar. I mean, that's the soundbar itself is like $250. So I mean, it's a $300 TV essentially that you get for if you decide to not keep it for free. Which I mean, again. If you go into the program knowing you're giving out information and there's a camera, and you at the end be like, "Oh, I don't like my privacy." I'm like, "Well, you're the moron who went into the program. You already do this."
There's some people are going to find this a controversial statement, but like privacy concerns with some of this shit, I don't care. Like, yes, it's annoying to me when I sit down at Amazon
you're opting in,
and I get
like,
but you don't have to take the TV.
Right.
Don't be mad that there's a privacy concern over a free TV. Like those are the conditions.
Even so, you know, like when I sit down at my computer and like ads start popping up for things that I've been searching for or whatever, I don't care. The only time that bothers me is when it's something that I just purchased, where I'm like, okay, I literally just bought a new phone. I don't need advertisements for the Samsung Galaxy anymore. Like, I get it. This phone is out. Annoying. I own it. Please just go away and leave me alone.
Yeah, what's worse is when the promo they show you is better than the one you got. You're like, son of a bitch. You're like, come on.
Yeah, I don't.
Or if it's an expired promo and you're like, why is it still popping up? Like 3 months after?
I don't know. Jeff, what about like what are your concerns? Like, do you care about like if your online habits are being tracked by people who want to advertise to you?
I only care if
it's malicious.
Well,
if
obviously it's malicious.
If they're selling my information to like unsavory third parties, because like what are they doing with my information, and are they sending it to like credit card companies? Are they sending it to Are they sending it to like robocall companies, robocall centers? Those are my main concerns.
I would say a majority of those, they don't sell them directly, but they end up selling it to people who end up selling it to those
like
people.
It's
a vicious cycle that'll just end up happening.
They can still get like that information when you make a credit card purchase.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
Yeah.
They're
I
gonna
mean,
get
it's
the
just the same
information
as
no
when you
matter
have
what.
credit
I don't
card
know.
debt.
But to me, I would definitely explore this offer, but I would want to read the fine print. But Shea, is there a waiting list for this right now if you want to apply?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a waiting list for it. Yeah, I applied last summer, and I pop in. There's an app that you could pop into to check your status and stuff, and I check it every once in a while, and it says, it still says I'm on a list.
It doesn't tell you where you are
we're
on the list,
pushing
though,
out,
right? Because I remember when was it Post or Blue Sky or one of those social media apps came out and they were taking betas, they would tell you where on the list you were, so you knew as invites went out. You're like, oh, okay, they sent out like 30,000 invites and I'm 60,045, so I've got a little bit more time to go. But this sounds on the surface, this seems like a really good deal for someone who is in the market for a new television.
And the fact that previous projects that they have started, such as Pluto TV, which is legitimate and pretty successful for what they do, that gives me a little bit more comfort in regards to how they would be collecting data, which they've explicitly said that they don't save or collect any data other than your streaming habits within whatever you watch on the program. That's it.
Yeah.
So
the next bit of news, this is probably gonna be the last thing that we talk about before we hop off. Something that I saw late the other night. I'm gonna drop a picture here on the stream, which is a fake image of Michael Chiklis on the set for Deadpool. Michael Chiklis, he addressed it. He's like, listen, actually, let me pull the actual tweet up so I can read off.
It looks actually pretty good.
What he said here. He says, FYI, folks, this is fake. Sorry to disappoint. So many people have asked about it. I feel it's necessary to clear this up. I do know who they're casting, but it's not my place to tell. But I will say this. I'm a fan of his work, and I wish him luck and success with it. So we know that the Thing is showing up in Deadpool now.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that the Green Hood back there
unless they fake that part
is
too.
Doctor Doom, or
they could just fake that as well.
But what I don't know,
Jeff, you're muted.
Is that a Photoshop of a real photo? I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
I think it is a Photoshop
probably,
of a real photo, and I think it might have been leaked out as a fake. It's possible it could have been one of those fake leaks that Ryan Reynolds
this thing might be this might be incredibly fake. But we also I don't know whether he's referring to who got hired to play the Thing in Deadpool. If this is
that like that
or Fantastic Four
photo of Cyclops and he looks like Jim Lee animated series Cyclops?
Maybe
from the set of Deadpool. I don't know if that was real. I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't think that one was either. I just kind of think that's it. Like this. I feel like this just like prompted more speculation now over whether this person that's going to be playing the Thing in Deadpool 3, or if the Thing is even in Deadpool 3, if the person cast for Deadpool 3 is going to be the same as the person that has been cast for the Fantastic Four movie.
I took it as if he just like knew who was cast in Fantastic Four.
Yes, that's what I'm not sure.
I didn't really.
Yeah,
think
that's how I took it as well.
Like
he knows who's playing Ben Grimm the Thing because that movie's going to start shooting this year.
Right. But that's
what I assume he means.
My confusion is just because this is clearly a shot from Deadpool 3. So it could be either one or it could be both.
But I thought it's fake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Again, they have been putting out fake photos specifically to bait people into Ryan Reynolds, like the Wolverine stuff and like a bunch of other stuff like Ryan Reynolds had put out specifically just be like, oh yeah, here's these Here's these real set photos to mess with the leaks, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's
And
what I
it's
That sounds like something he would do.
yeah. So this could go either way. Either way, I am really excited to see the Fantastic Four casting.
Yeah, someday in like 20 years.
Well, I mean, the movie's going to come out eventually, so we'll find out at least when they release the first trailer for it. Hopefully, they'll announce it before then.
I think it was the director of the film reposted something on his Instagram about Pedro Pascal playing Reed Richards, and then like he deleted his whole account.
Yeah, so like that's another one. I don't know like how accurate that is. If he deleted his account over it, chances are it may be accurate. But
yeah, I would think.
But I don't know. But before we wrap out of here, was there any other news or stuff this week that you guys saw that you thought was big enough that we should address here?
I think we covered the big stuff.
Dan Trachtenberg,
Predator
Predator movie.
Yeah.
So the director of Prey, I don't know what do you call this a sequel? He's doing.
Well, this one takes place
I
in the
think he said
future,
it wasn't
though,
a
right?
sequel.
Well, do you call Prey
a prequel?
So Prey's a prequel. So this movie is apparently going to be like actually set in the future, and it's called Badlands. So I thought that was very interesting. Prey was a good movie.
I really enjoyed
wish
it.
You could have got. Yeah, I think he did a great job. I'm excited to see what he does next. I think Predator works best when it's just not, just basic, R-rated. Don't make it too complicated. It's like an individual versus this primal alien force. And I think if you stick with that, I think it can be really good. So I hope. I think the Predator movies do their best when they follow more or less follow like the hero's journey formula, where it's someone that they have their own personal issues that also kind of manifest into real world problems that they have, and as they overcome their personal issues, they're also overcoming, like the Predator as a threat or whatever. Because that's essentially what the first movie was. That's what Predator 2 was.
Yeah.
The one with Topher Grace and all those guys, maybe not so much. Predators. I haven't seen the other one, the Shane Black one yet. I haven't watched The Predator.
The Predator.
So I can't.
Horrible.
That's why I heard. That's why I haven't watched it yet. But I'm sure I will watch it eventually. But I don't know. But on that note, I think that's it for us here. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us to talk about wrestling and staying on to talk about some of this other news and content. We'll definitely be bringing you back again here in the future. But before we all go, Jeff, where can we find you on social media? And what do you have coming up that like news story wise that are gonna get posted on the website that you want people to see?
Okay, so you can follow me on I guess it's called X now.
It's Twitter
at Wheeljack83.
It's Twitter.
Whatever Elon Musk is calling it this weekend. Check us out at the Illuminerdi. You can check out my column on how I pitched to fix Wrestlemania 40 this year. I wrote a couple features on that, so check that out. Some of our other WWE, our movie, our film coverage, check that out at Illuminerdi. I also have more film reviews and whatnot. You can check me out on the Tomato Meter, Jeffrey Harris, to check out my Tomato Meter approved reviews. And you can also check those out at 411 Mania. Next week I'll be, okay, so this is exciting. Madam, I can say I'm seeing Madam Web on Monday, so a lot of people, a lot of people seem pumped for Madam Web.
The century.
I will not ask you to tell us what your like your opinion is on it before you see it.
I haven't seen it yet, but I will be seeing it on Monday, and then so I'll be reviewing that. That's up next, and then after that, the Bob Marley One Love movie. So
I am interested in the Bob Marley one. The Bob Marley film looks pretty good. Bryce, what about you? Where can we find you on social media? What do you have coming up that we should check out, if anything?
Okay, just look up Bryce AWK on some of them and see if I'm there. I mostly post on Twitter, so that's mostly where I'm
Same.
at. But I'm on the other ones too, but I don't really post there very often. So yeah, definitely be checking out Illuminerdi.com. We got a lot of cool stuff going on there. Yeah. I think that's it, right? That's all I needed to do.
Yeah, I think you're good. Shea, I'm not even going to bother asking you because I know you don't use any social media really.
Good for you. Good for you.
No,
it's
all fake anyways.
It's ruining our lives. It really is. But you know,
my one thing I love about social media is when I do see a video on Instagram where people are looking at like, oh my God, this happened because this happened. Like, no, you idiot. They're only showing you the setup. They're not showing you how they set it up. They're showing you what happened. They all set all this up. Oh my God, this person's being nice to this other person. No, they asked them, if I give you $5, will you let me? The ones
that I hate
this?
that I see,
none of this stuff
because
is real.
because I actually think this is really shitty that people do this. But the videos where they're like, look how we gave this homeless person a complete transformation, and you're looking at him and you're like, that's all makeup. You threw this guy in some dirt, and none of this is real. Like I feel like that's not because it's fake, but it's disrespectful to people who actually are homeless and dealing with that kind of stuff. That you're like, look what we did, and you didn't actually do dick to help them.
Yeah, it's that's what I would call cultural appropriation, is because you're taking advantage, you're using other people's real life unfortunate situations to gain clout. That's what I call appropriating.
It's bullshit, whatever it is. But again, I'm Josh. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, my one video on TikTok, Blue Sky.
Your one dance video on TikTok.
And I think I'm on all of those as at Vogue on Poetry Slam. If you know anything about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you should be able to figure that out pretty easily. This show is what I'm focusing most of my time on now, so this is probably the best place to find me doing stuff, outside of posting random shit on social media sometimes, or trolling people on social media. Whatever. It's just you gotta do it for the shits and the giggles.
Or figuring out how we're moving Bryce out here.
Right. Yeah, you can see his bed in the background here, because I haven't had a chance to move it out yet.
Whoa.
But check us out here again next week. Hopefully we will be live on time at 11:30, where we'll be talking about more news and all of the rest of the stuff that comes up this week in whatever we find interesting and decide we want to talk about. So later, folks. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. That's what we'll be talking about next week, is the Super Bowl. Probably taking up almost the entire show. Yeah, and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Later, everyone.
Yeah.